Welcome to Norman, Oklahoma, home to one of college football's most storied programs. 7 national championships. And while 8 won't be added this year, a Big 12 title is still within reach. It's the last game at home for Oklahoma's seniors. DeMarco Murray and his classmates are undefeated on Owen Field in their Sooner careers. Texas Tech wants to wreck them on Senior Day, but the Sooners are ready to do the damage. Welcome to ESPN's presentation of college football on ABC, presented by Kay Jewelers. From Norman, Oklahoma, it's a Big 12 matchup as Texas Tech takes on 16th ranked Oklahoma. Welcome to college football tradition-rich Norman, Oklahoma. I'm Carter Blackburn, along with Oregon's winningest head coach Mike Bellotti and former All-Pac-10 quarterback at Washington, Brock Hewart. Oklahoma is now out of the national championship race with their second loss to A&M last week. Bob Stoops said last year when Oklahoma was out of the national championship race, it was almost like his team was drowning, searching for air. The question for the 2010 Sooners is, how did they respond now that the BCS National Championship is out of the picture?
And this is all about finishing in so many ways. This Oklahoma team not finishing in the fourth quarter, outscored by 50 points, unable to finish in the red zone on the goal line. That's cost them 2 games. And most importantly, Mike, can these seniors finish as Big 12 champions?
I think they can, because last year they imploded because of loss of serious seniors, the court leadership, the quarterback. This year, sometimes when you try to play fast, you forget how to finish plays. This group went through that last year. They know what to do this year.
Well, the good news for Oklahoma is they get to run on the field this week with the Sooners schooner leading them. They're at home, where they have been much better, especially Landry Jones.
Well, Landry Jones has had some issues on the road. His touchdowns, the interception ratio, etc. But at home, he plays very well, and the team supports him very well at home.
Sam Bradford, the Heisman Trophy winner, he set that bar about here. For Landry Jones, the redshirt sophomore, it's all about consistency in his game, and he's got to find that to take that next step in his career.
Well, home teams have been big in this series the last 2 years. The home team winning big when Texas Tech and Oklahoma gets together. Exactly what the Sooner fans want today. A special senior day here in Norman. 17 players honored their final home game in Norman, Oklahoma. It's a group that has won 2 Big 12 championships, has never been beaten on this field. TCU, the last team to come to Norman and win. That was the beginning of 2005. So how does Texas Tech today come in and do something that no one's done against this group of OU seniors?
I think the only chance they have is the same game they played when they demolished the Sooners down in Lubbock last year, and that's to run the ball. Baron Batch, the running back, a career day. A career best, 138 yards. They ran it 51 times a week ago to beat Missouri. They've got to control the game on the ground today.
Taylor Potts was a quarterback last time when they beat him. He's here again today, very comfortable, very confident after coming off the bench last week to lead them to victory.
Oklahoma will get the football first, meaning we see the potent Oklahoma offense against the Texas Tech defense. That is 118 out of 120 passing yards allowed. It'll be an opening touchback. Donnie Corona's kick goes through the end zone, so Oklahoma gets the football at the 20. Let's look at the impact players when the Sooners have the football.
And it starts with senior DeMarco Murray, Oklahoma's all-time leader with 61 touchdowns. He's been healthy for a calendar year, and you see a stronger, more physical DeMarco Murray. Ryan Broyles, well, he'll become Oklahoma's all-time leading receiver today because of his unique quickness and tremendous feel in space.
On the other side, Kobe Whitlock, senior, 45-game starter, 30 tackles for loss during his career for Texas Tech.
Whitlock, a native of Noble, Oklahoma. A lot of ties between Oklahoma and Texas Tech from Lubbock. Play fake on first down. Landry Jones wants the deep ball, looking for Kenny Stills. Flag down. Pass interference looks to be the call as OU goes for the home run ball. On the first play from scrimmage, Jarvis Phillips in coverage.
Kenny Stills, a speedy receiver down the field. This was a play action fake going deep all the way. Landry Jones stared him down, got the call.
Problems with the referee's audio mic, but again, it'll be a 15-yard penalty on the pass interference. That's the rule in college football.
And it's true freshman against redshirt freshman. Kenny Stills out of Southern California gets behind the defense. Been a problem for a very young Texas Tech defense, is so many freshmen and redshirt freshmen, very inexperienced.
The secondary is all underclassmen. 2 freshmen, 2 sophomores in the Texas Tech secondary. Jones throwing again. Wide open receiver on the edge for the first Oklahoma first down. It's Ryan Broyles, the junior from right here in Norman, who is putting up record numbers in his OU career.
And with that reception, actually passes Mark Clayton for first in the history of Sooner football in receptions.
Giving Oklahoma a first down right at midfield, right on the interlocking O&U. Option pitch to Marco Murray, makes the first defender miss and picks up 3.
You know, James Willis, defensive coordinator for Texas Tech, talked about their DBs have to get the hands on the receiver. One, to stop from going by, but also to stop the bubble screens to the outside.
On Oklahoma offense averaging 34 points, and a lot of those will go right through the hands of Ryan Broyles, especially early on. Wildcat direct snap to DeMarco Murray. Good block on the edge for Murray to get near a first down. That's Gabe Eicher, the redshirt freshman left guard, pulling.
And that was a nice little wrinkle there from Kevin Wilson. A lot of check with me. You're going to see this from the Red Raiders on the other side as well. Landry Jones acting like he's getting the call from the sideline, and a direct snap to DeMarco Murray. And it's DeMarco Murray, not one of the most versatile players maybe in the history of college football.
When you look up on purpose, his picture's next to the dictionary. We talked about that already.
2,000 flags down here.
You know, one of the things, too, Oklahoma talks about, they want to play fast, they want to keep up the tempo, but the tempo has to include a balance between run and pass. They're doing a good job so far balancing up those calls.
That's a face mask on the defense. The second 15-yard penalty on this opening drive against the Tech defense. No doubt. Yeah. Brian Duncan got the face mask.
And Tech's defense talked about they have to stop the run, they have to handle the tempo of Arizona, and they have to play the bubble screen. Those are the 3 elements they feel will give them success today.
Oklahoma opening drive, they get to the 21. This has been the problem for OU. Moving the football, but no points. And sure enough, a bungled snap there. Tried to go Wildcat again. The snap was high over the head of DeMarco Murray.
The first snap of the game last week went over the quarterback's head, too. So, again, little excitement. The center may have to turn an angle block back, and that makes it tough.
Jones on the rollout. Complete on the edge. It's Broyles for a first down inside the 10.
I'll tell you what, right now, Tech is not hitting on all cylinders on defense. They're leaving people uncovered in the secondary. They're a little bit confused. They got to settle down.
A lot of wrinkles here from Oklahoma. Some Wildcats, some play pass. They shot down the field. I like Kevin Wilson right now, not giving Texas Tech the same look twice.
A week ago, 4 times inside the 4-yard line. Only 1 touchdown to show for it. So the Sooners want to punch this in. There's another flag down after a minimal gain by Murray.
2 things they talked about. They got to win the red zone. They've got to get more points per yards. They got a lot of yards, not as many points as they should have for that much yardage.
That's a chop block. Personal foul against Oklahoma. Chop block is the call, which is the combination high-low block.
So as a coach, Mike, and we spent some time with Bob Stoops yesterday, and he's been asked the question a million different ways. Why not finishing in the red zone? Why has it been such an issue for this team?
They don't start with a power running game. That's what you lack in the red zone.
So first and goal now. Screen inside. It's the true freshman Franks who gets back to the 11. Cody Davis on the stop.
You're going to see this a number of times today from Oklahoma, be it Franks, be it Kenny Stills, Roy Finch as well. All true freshmen and all incredibly explosive and fast players that have stepped right into their roles as freshmen and taken off.
Second and goal for OU. Jones finds Murray. What a grab out of the backfield for Murray. And Oklahoma's all-time touchdown leader is in the end zone on the first Sooner drive.
We talked about being healthy for an entire offseason. Murray's been banged up in his career, poor tackling, and look at the leg drive to fight through tackles. If Texas Tech is going to survive 60 minutes today, they must tackle better in space.
And great anticipation by Landry Jones. Pressure in his face, threw the ball right on the money, despite the fact there were two defenders out there.
Jimmy Stevens on for the extra point. Well, the word around Oklahoma football this week was finish. Finish on your home field. Finish the season. Finish your drives, which is exactly what the senior DeMarco Murray does on Senior Day. Senior Day not only for the players, but for the band members, for the folks who keep the Sooners schooner. I mean, this is the last home game for Oklahoma seniors.
Isn't it great to be in a venue with 85,000 people that love football, just love being back in Norman?
And the fans themselves grow attached to the seniors. When you come out, there's not going to be a dry eye in the place at some point because of these seniors, both the family and the fans themselves.
And you saw Eric Stevens there, the electric sophomore from Texas Tech, the all-time leader in kickoff return yards in an area where Oklahoma's really struggled this season.
2 out of the last 3 weeks, Oklahoma has given up a kickoff return for a touchdown. There's the losses at Missouri and Texas A&M. High kick bounces at the 15 this time. It's Harrison Jeffers on the return for Texas Tech. We see the Red Raider offense. Taylor Potts back in his familiar starting role as quarterback for the Red Raiders.
And benched a week ago and responded the way you'd love to see a senior respond. Came in late in the second quarter and really led Texas Tech to that victory over Missouri with 3 touchdown passes. A lot like Landry Jones, a rhythm tempo quarterback. And when he's on, if he gets hot early, he can be dynamite.
Came into the game last week against Missouri when Tech was down 17-3. They won that game 24-17. Batch gets the handoff and picks up 3. Lewis on the stop. Let's look at the impact players when the Red Raiders have the football.
Baron Batch, a member of the 2,000-yard rushing, 1,000-yard receiving, runs downhill and with great power. Leon having his best year of his career, most explosive wide receiver, and again tied for the national lead with 15 TD receptions.
And for the Sooners, Travis Lewis at linebacker, sideline to sideline, 333 career tackles.
Pocket holds up for Potts. He completes over the middle. Zuzalik makes the grab and goes rumbling into Oklahoma territory. Austin Zuzalik makes the grab.
Great protection and great anticipation and patience by Taylor Potts. He sits in the pocket here. You see him survey the field, come across, wait through, right between 2 linebacker defenders to the open Zuzalik.
You will not find a smaller window. If he hesitates a moment, that's an interception.
35-yard pickup. Potts off the quick snap, swings it to the outside. Leong makes his first catch.
Both of these teams like to play fast. You're seeing it right now. They're both no huddle. Texas Tech will probably sit at the line of scrimmage a little bit more than Oklahoma.
Red Raiders became a famous offense under Mike Leach. Tommy Tuberville coming from the SEC, bringing more of a run game. But still, it's Texas Tech throwing the football 5 wide on 2nd down and short. Stevens motions into the backfield. Takes the handoff. Oklahoma ready for it. Stopping Stevens short. Jeremy Beal leads the Oklahoma defense.
And you talk to Neil Brown, one of the youngest offensive coordinators in all of college football, and he would tell you we're not playing at the breakneck speed I would like, largely because of some of the deficiencies defensively and also because Tommy Tuberville wants more of that run element.
3rd down and 1. It's the Wildcat look for Texas Tech. Stevens takes the direct snap, picks up the 1st down inside the 10, inside the 5. Eric Stevens, the sophomore from Mansfield, Texas.
And again, picking up on what they did last week to beat Missouri, run the football. And again, everybody knows they're going to do it, especially from the Wildcat. But great blocking up front. That's a hole we all could have run through.
Adrian Waddle, tremendous job at left tackle of washing down that edge and creating a seam.
On 3rd and 1, a 17-yard pickup. 1st and goal. Minimal gain by Stevens. Adrian Taylor, one of the Oklahoma seniors, in fact, one of the recipients of the Don Key Award. He and Jeremy Beal, which goes to the senior who's showed the most leadership and effort, named after a former Oklahoma football player who battled cancer in the early 1980s.
And again, there's no subterfuge here. They're taking the quarterback off the field. So again, eliminates the pass worry for the Oklahoma defense.
It'll be Lewis taking the direct snap here.
You may throw this ball just as we talked about.
Touchdown. Darren Moore gets the touchdown grab off the toss from Detron Lewis.
Again, the Oklahoma defense, assuming there is no pass threat, is going to commit to the run, allows the receiver to get open late.
Well, we see on this first drive, penalty flag down.
After the play, unsportsmanlike conduct, offense number 14. That 15-yard penalty will be enforced on the kickoff. The touchdown is good.
Well, that'll be interesting to see, because they say you can celebrate with your teammates. You just can't draw individual attention to yourself. Let's see.
And Tuberville talking about the Big 12. The one difference with the SEC is the ability to throw the ball. You've seen that now with both teams on these drives, and even a receiver getting it done with the touchdown pass.
A senior from College Station, Lewis, gets his first career touchdown pass. Touchdown Oklahoma, but the Red Raiders show they can move the football too. Is it the beginning of a shootout in Norman?
ESPN's College Football on ABC. Brought to you by K Jewelers, the #1 jewelry store in America. Every kiss begins with K. Chevrolet. And Bud Light. It's the sure sign of a good time. Here we go.
Billy Sims still looms large in Norman, Oklahoma. This is a place that takes its football tradition very seriously.
Very proudly and very seriously.
Whether it be the Sooner Legends Hotel, it's a whole hotel. It's Barry Switzer. You had the great pleasure of having the Barry Switzer suite, didn't you?
I had that great pleasure in seeing a lot of old Sooner fans, and actually some old Sooners were there staying at the hotel itself.
The Boz was here 2 weeks ago, and they honored the '85 championship team when we were here. Texas Tech kicking off from the 15 because of the celebration penalty after the touchdown. So return chance here for Oklahoma. Finch bobbles it near the 10. To the 30, so good kick coverage there from Texas Tech. Let's go back to why Texas Tech's kicking off from the 15 anyway.
When you look at this, I don't know that that's prolonged or excessive. And I don't know if he's signaling his fans that are right there. But the problem is, as soon as that flag comes out, as a coach, you got to say, that was wrong. You made a mistake. Let's not do it again.
You're going to see Tommy Tuberville walk in and say, look at where we're kicking off. But I think that's a terrible call. In a game of this nature and magnitude, the last Big 12 game for Texas Tech, that's not taunting. Let the kids play a bit.
Oklahoma gets it back. 2 possessions, 2 touchdowns in the game. 1 for either side. Landry Jones rolling, throwing, complete on 1st down. It's Kenny Stills, the true freshman from the San Diego area. Encinitas who makes the catch.
Landry very sharp in the opening, as he's been here in his career at home, is such an accurate passer. 4 for 4, very little contact. I think you said it, Mike, discombobulated is Texas Tech on defense right now.
A sophomore quarterback from Artesia, New Mexico, has Finch in motion, fakes the give. Landry Jones will dump this one incomplete.
really spreading the field right now, and again going side to side. Roy Finch, who did not play a very big role last week, which surprised and displeased a lot of people in there, but really a decoy right now so far.
One of the challenges for Oklahoma a week ago, Landry Jones got hit a lot in that first half, shut out at Texas A&M. The Aggies were flying all over the field. Texas Tech better start playing faster on defense.
59 pass attempts a week ago. That's an Oklahoma record, and a loss at Texas A&M. This is DeMarco Murray with a huge hole on the outside. Murray knocked out near the 20.
Again, that play set up by the fake to Finch on the sweep or end around, and again it's set up, sort of got the eyes going that direction. You see it a little bit here, and then DeMarco Murray showing great speed, getting to the outside, turning it on.
And left tackle Donald Stevenson holding that edge. When you see those running backs get outside, it's largely a tight end. In that case, Donald Stevenson, the left tackle, does a really nice job of technique, getting his shoulders outside, creating that room to run.
Finch on first down. Still fighting after the initial contact. Picks up a couple more after Brett Dewhurst, one of the 3 walk-on players who plays a big role for Texas Tech. This is a defense that is really patched together. Very young, very inexperienced, very light.
12 people injured or hurt over the course of the season. He talked about the safeties playing with casts on this week.
Oklahoma in the red zone again, inside the Texas Tech 20. First trip, it was a touchdown. Finch stood up this time. It'll be third down. Bront Bird, the middle linebacker from Odessa Permian High School, on the stop.
And he was up top, but how about Colby Whitlock, the impact player, the defensive tackle, making his 46th consecutive start. Look at that little power plug, very stout at the point of attack.
That's a lot of football. I mean, when you play that many games, you start that many games, you're doing a lot of things right.
Champion wrestler in his high school career in Noble, Oklahoma. 3rd and 7. Jones over the middle, incomplete. This is 4th down for Oklahoma. And it's another trip to the red zone for the Sooners, where they don't get it in the end zone, settle for a field goal.
And that's got to frustrate the coaches. I'll tell you what, they want touchdowns. They talked about having to win the red zone by scoring touchdowns. We don't want field goals. Got to get the ball in the end zone.
Remarkably, that's the 51st trip to the red zone for Oklahoma's offense. Just 22 trips in the red zone. Their defense is allowed. But when you're just around that 60% mark for touchdowns, that's not good enough.
34-yard attempt coming from Jimmy Stevens. He's 6 of 8 on the year. Make it 7 of 9. Boots it through. So points on the board. Oklahoma in the lead. But it's 3 rather than 7 for the Sooners.
Hey, I'm Mark Cheney. I'm an exercise science senior. This is my last game driving the Sooner schooner. We've got 2 guys in training. Go Seniors. Okay. L-A-H-O-M-A. Boomer. Sooner. Boomer. Sooner. Let's get rowdy. Let's get rowdy. Okay. L-A-H-O-M-A. Boomer. Sooner. Boomer. Sooner. Let's get rowdy. Let's get rowdy.
Roughnecks in training, ready to take over. So the last ride on the buckboard by Mark Cheney, credit belonging to Mike Bellotti for immediately knowing what that is called. Eric Stevens on the return for Tech. Hit hard at the 26. Yeah, well done, Mike. You knew exactly when you saw the Sooner schooner that was the buckboard.
That's how I got to Oregon. You forgot. I came out there. Yeah. I just went a little farther than Oklahoma.
Yeah, we learned how difficult it is to travel in and out of Eugene last week. I think the covered wagon might be the best route.
Nice job, though, by the kickoff team. Again, a low kick, which has been part of their problem all year long. But that's the only matchup in this game where Texas Tech is ahead. It's kickoff returns.
17-yard return this time for Stevens, who joins Taylor Potts in the backfield. Touchdown drive. First time the Red Raiders had the football. Stevens cuts it back to pick up a few. Texas Tech in the white helmets today. They debuted those earlier this year against New Mexico. Back in the 70s, 74, they wore a white helmet with a red face mask. They've gone with the black face mask in the 21st century on the white helmets. On On second down, Stevens misses the pass. Jeremy Beal disrupting the pass intended for Stevens.
And speaking of the 21st century, how about last week against Missouri? The first time this century the Texas Tech ran the ball more than they threw it. 51 times a week ago. I don't see that happening here in Norman this afternoon. But already early, first down run, you're going to see that emphasis more than you ever saw with Mike Leach.
And they say to be effective as an offense, they've got to convert at least 50% of their third downs, which is a high number, but they're a drive-oriented team.
On 3rd and 7. Potts flings it to Batch out of the backfield, who was dropped in space by Jamel Fleming, the excellent junior cornerback. And boy, did Brent Venables and Willie Martinez rave about the way that their corners have developed this year. Hurst and Fleming.
And just look at the technique on that last play. He knew where his help was coming from. His sole job was to make sure that that back does not break his containment. He knew his buddies were going to come help. Fleming sticking to the details. Redshirt junior really having a nice season.
Jonathan LaCour to punt, the senior from Kingwood, Texas. He's been solid for Texas Tech this year. Ryan Broyles to return. Broyles lets it bounce and roll to near the 25. Well, tonight you get a chance to see the explosive Oklahoma State Cowboys go down to Austin to try and beat Texas for the first time in the Mack Brown era. Saturday Night Football presented by Southwest Airlines on ABC 8 Eastern 5 Pacific. Some of the nation will see USC versus Arizona or Clemson versus Florida State. Go to ESPN.com, search maps to see where you can find your game.
I think we said this the last time we were in Norman. You better give Mike Gundy a lot of respect and Coach of the Year type of honors right now, losing so many Cowboys a year ago and having his team playing at such a high level.
It's amazing that Justin Blackman was not even a focus of the Oklahoma State offense a year ago, and he's leading the nation in receiving. DeMarco Murray, solid gain on first down.
You know, good push up front right there. And if there was one thing that Kevin Wilson talked about, it's getting more punch and a physical nature at the line of scrimmage. And again, DeMarco Murray running north and south in his shoulder pads ahead of the ball.
We've already called DeMarco Murray a lot. We've already called Jeremy Beal a lot. Two of the seniors, two of the 17 playing on senior day. On second down, it'll be Murray again on the toss. Murray has a first down for the Sooners. And Mike, what about seniors on senior day? Do you expect a different level of play?
You absolutely do. Sometimes they become too emotional, though, and you got to settle them down because it's their last game on their home field. All their friends and family come to watch it. But a lot of times you get unbelievable performance.
Direct snap to Murray as Landry Jones goes sneaking away from the center, and Murray picks up about 3 more. Not exactly the fourth grader taking the football directly from the center and walking through the defense, but still sneaky.
And now 10 runs to 7 passes for Oklahoma. To your point, Mike, trying to establish that line of scrimmage, because when they run it, that is when they get into tempo, and that's when they set up their play action pass.
It takes a lot of pressure off Landry Jones as quarterback, too, when there's an efficient running game working on that day.
Red Raiders show pressure on second down. There's the play action. There's the deep ball. Stills makes the grab. Kenny Stills into the end zone. Run the football. Play action. Hit it over the top. Touchdown, Oklahoma.
And I was going to add that when you run the football, it sets up the play action. Same play they opened the game with. This time they get it clean.
It's not rocket science. When you get that run game going, you start to impact the game at the line of scrimmage. It softens the defense.
After the play, unsportsmanlike conduct, offense, number 4. That 15-yard penalty will be assessed on the kickoff. The touchdown is good.
Kenny Stills spiked the football in the end zone.
Both head coaches have let their young guys know we can't afford this in our kickoff coverage game.
Well, you don't like to kick off 15 yards back, I guarantee you.
Jimmy Stevens' PAT is good. How about an explosive 4-play, 75-yard drive, a minute 29. Forget this first and goal from the 4 stuff. Let's just hit them over the top.
And play action pass, the first play of the game, a little bit different impact now that you've been able to run it the way they have, and you see the speed of Kenny Stills, one of the fastest freshmen, 4.40. Those eyes of those safeties and those linebackers start to look at that fake. When you got a youngster that can run, he can get behind that defense as Stills did.
Yeah, that's the penalty. That obviously is one that would get called every time. I'll tell you, coaches out there ready to get him. One of the things too, the coaches at Texas Tech talked about the lack of depth and the lack of experience in the secondary, trying to keep their eyes right, and again knowing who to key and making sure where the ball is.
So we've had already 2 celebration penalties called.
And take a look at this Texas Tech defense. When you run the ball and you have Wildcat and you have DeMarco Murray pounding the ball, look at all 11 guys within 5 yards of the line of scrimmage. And Stills, as I said, has the kind of speed to get behind that defense.
Is that an automatic play action almost when you see them loaded up like that?
For Kevin Wilson up in the booth, but not down on the field. He just guessed right.
Stevens to near the 40. We check in with Robert Flores in New York.
All right, Carter, Taco Bell studio update. All the controversy surrounding Cam Newton, but he puts Auburn on the board first with his 31-yard touchdown run. Initially ruled down at the 1, later reversed upon review. They lead 7-0. Meantime, Penn State touchdown pass. They've gone ahead of number 9 Ohio State 7-3. And this late update, I've just been flagged for excessive celebration. Guys?
Well, Robert, you
join the club.
Yeah, exactly.
Contain yourself in the studio, Flores.
Celebrate with your teammates next time, Robert. On first down, Potts flings complete to Detron Lewis near a Texas Tech first down. We saw the highlight of Cam Newton there. I want to ask you guys, is there an impact on the field for Cam Newton and Auburn with all that they've gone through this past week?
Well, if there is, it starts with him. It's all about him handling that distraction, because I can imagine those coaches and players, and you've seen it this week, Mike, are going to rally around him.
I think there's some frustration on his part and his family's part, obviously, if there's no involvement. But I think everybody else just say, let's go get the game. Let's play football, do what we do.
Potts pass knocked away, intended for Lewis. It was Fleming in coverage, and there again is Jamel Fleming.
We saw Oklahoma a few weeks ago against Colorado, and we raved at these cornerbacks' defense. And Willie Martinez, the old Georgia defensive coordinator, has been brought in here as a secondary coach, and Brent Venables raving about the high level he's got these corners playing, sticking to the details, route recognition, and playing well beyond their experience level.
Potts swings it to the outside. Leong makes the grab. There is a lot of excitement about the young defensive players. Hurst is a sophomore. Tony Jefferson, who plays the Roy hybrid position, true freshman. A lot of excitement about some young defensive players for OU.
Oklahoma's team is young overall. This is great for the future, and it's tough right now. There's some growing pains involved, but this is a team that's going to have its say in the next couple of years.
Sooner defense trying to get a stop here on 3rd and 5. Texas Tech 1 for 2 on 3rd down so far.
They're getting their alignment straightened out, make sure who's on and off the ball.
4 seconds to get the snap off. Whistle. Could be timeout Texas Tech with the play clock winding down. So before 3rd down.
Timeout Texas Tech. Their first charge timeout of the half.
One of the fun things we do on the ESPN family of networks is the tip-off marathon. 21 games on ESPN, ESPN2, ESPNU, ESPN3.com. It's more than just 24 hours of hoops now. It is 21 live games, both the men's and women's national championship team, both Duke on the men's side, UConn on the women's side. It begins following Monday Night Football. We'll take you through every hour, no matter what time you turn on the ESPN family of networks. There's going to be basketball going on. Games in 4 time zones, 17 U.S. states, including Steve Lavin's return to the Bay, taking St. John's out there to play St. Mary's.
You call these hoops games, too. Who do you like?
Well, I think Duke is going to be pretty good this year. I think Singler and the Blue Devils. And if you're a Big 12 fan, keep your eye out for Tristan Thompson at Texas. I just got booed here in Norman for saying that. 3rd and 5. Complete. Close to the first down. It's Swindoll who makes the grab short of the first down.
So what do you do with your defense that has been so problematic this season, Mike? Do you go for it here?
It looks like they are, and it doesn't surprise. It's sort of like Mike Leach, sort of like his predecessor. I mean, they'd go for it just about anywhere. And again, this is obviously a situation where it's way too long to field. Why punt the ball back? They haven't stopped Oklahoma yet. Oklahoma scored every possession.
I go for it because I want my best unit on the field, and that's your offense. That's your fifth-year senior. It's the way you pitch and catch. Your defense, you've already seen give up 17 points. I like this call.
Blakelock winding down again. 4th and 2. 16th time Tech goes for it on 4th down this year. Pass is batted and incomplete, and the Oklahoma defense stops Tech on 4th down.
Going to be Ronell Lewis, the sophomore, back from a knee scope. They like having his athleticism, and you see the anticipation. That's well done for the sophomore. I know I can't get there. He sees Taylor Potts aim to fire. He times his jump right. Big 4th down stop.
The sophomore from Dewar, Oklahoma, town of fewer than 1,000 people, played 8-man football until his senior year. He's a sophomore now at Oklahoma, becoming a defensive star. Sooner football, play action from Jones on 1st down. Now he'll step up, throw complete across the 40 for a Sooner 1st down. It's a dragging Ryan Broyles.
And again, Landry Jones, the combination of play action, moving the pocket, has bought him a lot of time today. He's using it very well to allow his receivers to get open down the field.
Man, zone, 8 men in coverage, blitz, nothing working right now for Texas Tech.
18-yard pickup to the Sooner 40. Jones hands off to DeMarco Murray, trying to stretch on the outside. Trey Porter, the true freshman from Midwest City, Oklahoma, only about 20 miles from here in the Oklahoma City area, makes the stop.
And we had that good shot of those safeties around the line of scrimmage. Porter, that safety, remember the last time on that play, Murray able to get outside on the edge. That time those safeties come up to defend, and Porter able to bring Murray down.
They like Trey Porter. They think he's also their best cover guy in the entire secondary.
As a true freshman. Play fake on 2nd down. Jones out of the pocket, flings complete. DeMarco Murray for a positive gain. Murray finally dragged down about 3 yards short of the 1st down. Bird makes the stop.
Saw some of the NFL scouts yesterday here in Norman looking at film, and you see Murray limping on. You don't like to see that. A guy that's been so beat up in his career, but a lot of them raving about Murray's versatility, and at the next level, boy, that plays right into a 3rd down back, willing to run, willing to pass protect, and able to catch the ball as well.
Oklahoma's all-time all-purpose yardage leader. Play fake on 3rd down. Jones rolling, finds Finch anyway, makes the grab, but looks to be a yard short. Oklahoma is averaging nearly 10 yards per play.
Looks like they're working on Murray on the bench. You hate to speculate, as I talked about, as an impact player. He's been so beat up through his career here in Norman. A player down as well, and that's unfortunate. It's Brian Duncan, probably the most productive, right along with Colby Whitlock, productive Texas Tech defender. But Murray has trained so hard this offseason, really wanted to get himself. You talked about these seniors sometimes being too amped up. Well, he saw the finality of his career and got himself in the best shape. You just hate to see an injury.
He's been healthy from January basically until now, and that's been the longest stretch where DeMarco Murray has remained healthy during his Oklahoma career. And the coaches say seeing finally what a healthy DeMarco Murray can do, and that's put up pretty incredible numbers.
Well, and people don't understand, you don't get healthy during the season. You don't get stronger during the season or faster. You do all that in the off season. He's never had that opportunity, so this is the first time he's had a chance to really affect his physical status.
Sooners line up for it on 4th and 1. Moses Madu in the backfield now with Trey Millard, the true freshman fullback. Madu gets it on 4th down. We'll see where his forward progress was stopped. Tyrone Saunier makes the tackle, but Madu appears to pick up the 1st down with the forward progress.
And he's a bigger back. He was their power back before, but he had some problems with fumbles and got pulled from the lineup.
I'm always uncomfortable with a double check with me situation in those 4th down. Credit that offensive line of holding their water. Often when you get those big guys ready and ramped up on a 4th and 1 opportunity, you hate to have them sitting there with their hand on the ground. But the veterans up front got it done.
That may have been a no-play situation, though. Oftentimes, they will not give a play for that exact reason, because you don't want them getting antsy about the snap count. So you wait, you survey the field, and you actually give the offense a formation, but absolutely no play.
Gaylord Family Oklahoma Memorial Stadium is pretty quiet right now for a place where the home team is up by 10 points and driving.
And Finch back in the game, who was one of their most explosive playmakers.
Exactly even rush and pass from offensive coordinator Kevin Wilson and the Sooners. Roy Finch in the backfield, DeMarco Murray on the Oklahoma bench. Finch breaking through tackles. The explosion from the true freshman from Florida for an Oklahoma touchdown.
Did I say one of their explosive playmakers?
29-yard touchdown run.
First touchdown
of his career.
Of his Sooner career. You don't see him spiking that ball. He saw the tongue lashing that Kenny Stills got. Acted like he's been there before, celebrating his first.
And that was out of the pistol, which gave him a little bit. They talk about the power run, the downhill run that you get from that formation, which he took advantage of in that play.
Jimmy Stevens remains perfect on the year. PATs 24-7 Oklahoma on Texas Tech. 29-yard touchdown run for Roy Finch into the end zone for the first time as a Sooner.
Kickoff.
Texas Tech. And Eric Stevens takes a short kickoff to the 30. There is a flag on the play, so it will be Texas Tech getting the football now on offense.
And a flag, that I'm not sure what it is. We'll see, probably against the return team, it looks like.
During the return, holding on the return team, number 2. 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. It'll be 1st and 10.
One thing that has hurt Oklahoma over the course of the season is the short kickoffs, as we talked about, but it also disrupts the timing of the return team, because it's hard. You're set back, and they may end up moving those people up a little bit to get better blocking angles as the course of the game continues.
31 points on the board with 18 seconds to go in the first quarter. This is Big 12 South football. Potts and the Red Raiders take it from the 16. Batch on the stretch for just a few. What will likely be the last play of the first quarter. Well, Wisconsin got 83 today. The Sooners have 24 in the first. How high can Oklahoma count today on Senior Day in Norman? 24-7 at the end of one. Three touchdowns today for Oklahoma. DeMarco Murray has one of those. And he is presently on the Oklahoma sideline. Texas Tech football. Taylor Potts from the shotgun on 2nd down. First play of the second quarter. Batch bounces off a would-be tackler, and Baron Batch, the senior from Midland, out to the 42. And let's go back to DeMarco Murray and what his issue may be.
It looks pretty clearly, you know and I know, Mike, we've seen this a few times, that's a rib injury. And hard to see exactly where it happens. Maybe the twist and sometimes the cartilage and everything else in there. That's a painful injury.
After a 24-yard pickup, minimal gain by Crawford as we check in with Robert Flores.
All right, Carter, New York Life studio update, and Georgia has gone ahead of number 2 Auburn. Aaron Murray, second touchdown pass of the day. This one to Sean Chappis, and it came right after Cam Newton was intercepted. Penn State also leads number 9 Ohio State 14-3. So a couple of upsets brewing right now.
You gotta love the chaos in November. Oklahoma fans not loving that they are out of the national championship race in November with the loss a week ago to Texas A&M. Potts flings complete to the outside. That's Alex Torres who makes the grab, the sophomore who is coming back from an arthroscopic knee surgery
9 days ago, which is a pretty amazing recovery.
And Neil Brown talking about the spark that he can provide in the offense. You see a little bit of play pass as well. The eyes go inside of Oklahoma. Torres does a nice job plucking that ball out of the air.
I'll just say, look at the quarterback keeps the ball. I know we talk about that. The difference between a Tommy Tuberville offense and a Mike Leach offense, the quarterback will keep the ball. They run the zone read, and he truly reads it. The defensive end comes down, forgets about the quarterback, may keep the ball, takes it outside, does a great job.
And that's Jeremy Beal who says, you got to be kidding me. I played Texas Tech for 4 years. Their quarterback never runs. And the senior Beal gets beaten on that play.
From the Sooner 29. Jones over the middle. Complete. Incomplete now. Incomplete. Potts. Pass incomplete at the 20.
Hard to tell whether he caught that ball or trapped it against the ground. Let's see if we can get an angle here. And the ball's loose, hits the ground. Good call by the officials.
That's Zuzalik, the intended receiver.
Those are the plays on the road that Texas Tech has got to make.
The previous play is under further review.
They're going to look at it even more and validate hopefully what we saw up here.
Well, Mike, you touched on it with the zone read there and what Texas Tech will look like, especially offensively, with Tommy Tuberville as the head coach. How different do you think Tech is right now? How different will they be in the years to come?
Well, there's two things. One, they want to have balance on offense. So they want to run the ball 50% of the time. And again, with Mike Leach before, the run was an afterthought. They were comfortable throwing it 60 to 80 times if they needed to. The other thing is Tommy Tuberville is a defensive coach. He's going to recruit to defense. He felt coming in that they had not recruited necessarily defense. They just taken some people and put them over there, and they wanted to win by outscoring people. He said the comparison between the SEC and the Big 12 is in the SEC, you run the ball and you play defense. That's how you win. In the Big 12, you throw it, you run it, you play defense, and you have speed. So it was very much a compliment towards this new league for him.
And I think pretty clear here, guys, on a number of replays, when that ball makes contact with the ground, as we've seen it really best illustrated on this replay, hands not underneath the ball, the tip of the ball into the ground. I can't imagine that this is overturned.
No, you can't trap the ball against the ground and come up with it. And again, he didn't have control going into the ground. Yeah, actually, that's a great job of the umpire getting down.
After further review, the ruling on the field stands is called incomplete pass.
And the one thing Tommy has done is he does want to turn around this defense, but he hired Neil Brown away from Troy, keeping a lot of these same principles. They do want to run it more, but they will recruit to this spread. He hired the young coordinator because he wants to continue to throw the ball. Feels like you need to do that in the Big 12 South, but much more emphasis on the defense than you've seen in Lubbock over the last decade.
I mentioned earlier a week ago against Missouri, 51 rush attempts, the most in 11 years for Texas Tech. But 5 wide, empty backfield here on 2nd down and 10 inside the Oklahoma 30. Sooners show pressure. Taylor Potts' pass is caught by Eric Stevens, the sophomore all-around back for Tech.
The other thing last week, and we talked about this against Missouri, their defense held Missouri 1 out of 12 on 3rd down conversions, 0 for 2 on 4th down conversions. So they're making a difference in just the mentality of the defense in big games.
Potts took a hit at the end of that play as well.
That's your kickoff returner / running back. showing how well everybody catches the ball for the Red Raiders.
Running on third down, Stevens appears to be a yard short. Beal makes the stop. Jeremy Beal having a great start to his senior day.
And this is one of the challenges with every spread team in America, and where Oklahoma, as we saw on their fourth down, could put a fullback in the game and run it at you. What can Texas Tech do without a fullback on the roster? Really no tight end other than Adam James, a smaller tight end. This is one of the challenges in the spread offense.
4th and 1 for Texas Tech. Already a 4th down stop by the OU defense today. Potts is going to throw on 4th down if he can get it all. Potts takes the sack. OU comes up with a stop again. It's Jeremy Beal, the senior on senior day, with the 7th sack of his final year with the Sooners.
You'd love to be able to find a way to run it downhill. When you've got to throw, you're playing right into the strength of the Sooner defense.
Bob Stoops and the Oklahoma Sooners with a 24-7 lead on Tommy Tuberville's Texas Tech Red Raiders. It's college football presented by K Jewelers from Norman, Oklahoma. Carter Blackburn with Mike Bellotti, Brock Heward, and our outstanding ESPN crew. Landry Jones pass is caught by Broyles at the 40 for an OU first down. 13th first down already by the Sooners.
And just look at the difference in Landry Jones this week in the film that we watched yesterday. A comfortable pocket, comfortable throws, the jersey clean, not getting hit, and when he can set his feet, he is deadly accurate.
Play fake. Jones pressured and sacked on 2nd down.
And again, up to that point, the lack of pressure definitely was working in Jones's favor. Long time on the play action. Their better job in the secondary covering it, which allowed the pressure to get there.
Darchwan Bush gets the sack, true freshman. Defensive coordinator James Willis says he is the Red Raiders' best pass rusher, and he shows it there. Forcing 2nd and 15 after the loss of 5. Finch gets it, bounces outside. Roy Finch picks up about 6. It'll be 3rd and 9 for Oklahoma.
And again, I'm going to come back to the idea they talked about, getting the hands of the DBs on the receivers to make them work harder, take longer in their routes, that would allow now the pass rush to get to Landry Jones.
And Murray back in the game, heavily padded up and put a lot of bandages around those ribs, but you see him right back in the game on the 3rd and 9. Watch him as a route runner, very dangerous.
Time to throw on 3rd and 9, out of the backfield. First down for Oklahoma. It's Cameron Kinney who makes the catch inside the Texas Tech 30.
And look at the influence that DeMarco Murray has as he checks down. He's going to come right over here in the middle, and you're going to watch the play right over the top. Look at the emphasis with the defenders as they suck up on Murray. Allow that throw right behind him.
30-yard pickup. Landry Jones flings it long. Broyles makes the grab. Touchdown, Oklahoma. An awkward landing for Ryan Broyles on his 91st catch of the season. That's a school record.
Well, welcome to the Big 12, freshman Trey Porter. You're going up against one of the very best in Ryan Broyles, whose body control, his speed, he's got unique quickness. He sets that edge, gives his quarterback plenty of room, Mike. And those two have done it a number of times.
Well, an awkward landing, but it doesn't hurt half as much right now, I'll just tell you.
Only 5 plays, 72 yards. The Sooners are up to 30 now. Less than 5 minutes into the 2nd quarter. Stevens PAT makes it 31-7. The Sooners finishing.
ESPN's College Football on ABC, brought to you by Ford. Drive One. Citizen Echo Drive, fueled by light. It never needs a battery. Unstoppable, just like the people who wear it. And Avatar, extended collector's edition on Blu-ray and DVD Tuesday.
I'm here in the ExxonMobil Lawrence G. Rawl Engineering Practice Facility. Just like the football team has a practice field, this is a place where students can share ideas in robotics, drilling, and racing technology. OU is about doing our best so we can be our best. Welcome to my university.
Great engineering tradition here. The school goes back to 1909, first graduates in 1910. Engineering practice facility is the first of its kind in the nation.
Well, if Oklahoma is all about being their best, their offense right now through the first 20 minutes has been dominant. 300-plus yards. And how about Landry Jones? Landry Jones start 12 of 14, 222, and 3 touchdowns.
We talked about he's pretty successful at home. He has a great supporting cast, but there's something about playing for the home fans that brings out the best in him.
Jeffers on the return for Texas Tech across the 30 to the 32. Big numbers on the scoreboard for Oklahoma. And as we look at our Pacific Life game summary, there are big numbers everywhere for the Sooner offense. The average yards per play, 11.
After the play, personal foul, unnecessary roughness. Return team.
They're just 40 yards away from what they put up last week in 4 quarters against Texas A&M.
Well, nearly a first down a minute is not bad. Efficiency and production here into the second quarter.
Another penalty. This will be a personal foul. Nobody this week saying, where's the flag?
You know, the interesting thing in college football, and as a coach you sense this, but you watch it too, you know, Texas Tech beats Missouri. Missouri beats Oklahoma. Oklahoma right now is beating Texas Tech. There's no rhythm or rhyme to any of it.
Home field advantage?
It's all, I'll tell you, it's all about matchups. It really is about matchups. People don't understand that exactly.
Amazing that Missouri was held to 95 passing yards by this Tech defense a week ago. Baron Batch dropped for a loss by Price Macon there. 1 for 12 on third down. Missouri against Texas Tech in that loss at Lubbock. And Oklahoma is just rolling right over the Red Raiders in the first half.
No, they're physically dominating the line of scrimmage. Texas Tech has been woeful at best in their tackling. And there's no margin of error. You've got to convert on 3rd and 4th downs. Texas Tech unable to do so today.
Complete on the outside. Detron Lewis makes the catch. He had the touchdown pass for Texas Tech.
Well, and in the first series, Texas Tech went fast, much like Oklahoma. They're slowing it down quite a bit now, again, to rest their defense. They recognize that's not the right matchup. They want to keep their offense on the field and really, in a sense, chip away.
Ran 101 total plays a week ago against Missouri. 26 so far for Texas Tech today. On 3rd and 5. Potts time to throw. What a grab by Detron Lewis. The one-handed catch at the 41. Takes the contact from Quentin Carter and makes the grab.
That'll be a highlight film right there.
Wow.
Nice job. One-handed, reach out again, defeat the coverage. You run it down the field, double covered there, bracket coverage, breaks inside, and again, just reaches out. What a great catch.
And that's the challenge when people say double coverage and bracket coverage. At times when you can get inside of that double coverage, you can really take advantage of a void.
Looks like the commercial of the guy in the parking lot trying to hold on to his beverage.
And one of the things Texas Tech, they play catch all the time. They pride themselves on playing catch in practice, throw and catch. That's what this whole offense is built on.
The junior from Oklahoma City's Millwood High School, Tremaine Swindoll, makes the catch there. But only a 3-yard gain. Potts is 11 of 15 passing. Stevens short of the first down.
I like that guy.
When is the last time Oklahoma lost 2 consecutive games in a season? That is our Aflac trivia question, as Taylor Potts tucks it and runs for a first down. So again, last time Oklahoma lost 2 consecutive games. When's the last time it happened? Aflac trivia question, ponder that.
Well, when was the last time that Taylor Potts had more than 1 run in a game? Does it never happen with Mike Leach? That is the zone read principle. That's where he got out the gate on the long run outside of Jeremy Beal. He does it on the other side as well. Oklahoma's got to start accounting for him carrying the ball.
2 first down runs by Taylor Potts today. To the air, incomplete.
in all honesty, they are not accounting for him. You're absolutely correct, and I don't think they respect him. I don't think they're going to worry too much about it, in all honesty. They're going to dare him to run the ball and to beat them because they're more worried about the running backs right now than the quarterback carrying the ball.
And that first down pass, Neil Brown talked about Taylor Potts. If they had a chance today, had to be really accurate, and you just can't afford a miss like that on first down.
Lewis on the screen on the outside. Complete, well short of the first down.
When you are a possession-oriented team, and that's how Neil Brown described his offense, they lack the home run hitter in the big play. You've got to be so efficient as a passer. That's why Taylor Potts was benched a week ago. And now you see 3rd and 6, 3rd and 7, much more difficult than if you can get that first down and early down completions.
Call this 3rd and 6. Potts fires, intercepted. Pass is picked off. It's Quentin Carter who has the interception. Correction. It's Travis Lewis who has the pick.
They had a drop coverage there. They faked like they were blitzing. They dropped 8 into coverage. It was very difficult. There was really no lanes to throw. You see this? See everybody drop off and wall the receivers from inside out. See, 20 has nothing to do but just hang and plays the quarterback's eyes, sees the ball, easy interception. Again, bad read by the quarterback.
And Taylor Potts, trusting that Detron Lewis is going to continue to come out of that break and try to cross the face of Travis Lewis. When that defender is sitting there and you see Neil Brown talking to him, you just can't afford to force it into no window of opportunity on that pass.
Second INT for Travis Lewis, the junior from San Antonio, Texas. Landry Jones throwing long on first down. Broyles slips, it's incomplete. Flag down.
Another late flag, which typically those flags, again, before or after the whistle, really bother you as a coach.
After the play, personal foul, unnecessary roughness, offense, number 76. It's a 15-yard penalty. It'll be 2nd down.
So that is now 3 penalties against Oklahoma for 45, 5 against Texas Tech.
Ooh, that's Jarvis Jones. You don't like to see that. That is completely uncalled for on Sam Fihoko. That's how significant leg injuries occur. No place for that in college football.
Second long screen, Cameron Kinney, no gain. Answering our Aflac trivia question. Aflac! You have to go back to 1999 since Oklahoma has lost back-to-back games. That was Bob Stoops' first season as head coach at Oklahoma. This is 3rd down and long for the 2010 Sooners. Jones flings it long, intended for Kenny, just overshot him. Heck of a throw by Landry Jones.
And unable to overcome that 15-yard penalty. It hurts you. Now, we've talked a number of times today with Texas Tech and digging themselves out of a hole. But Jarvis Jones, I don't understand what you were doing on that play at all. I know we've seen Bob Stoops a couple times today with some of the discipline issues and the personal foul on Kenny Stills. They're going to look at that one on film, and they're going to talk to Jarvis Jones because that's the stuff people around college football and Texas Tech will take notice of. And as I said earlier, there's just not a place for that in the college game or pro game or any level of football.
Press way to punt. Detron Lewis back. This is the first time that Oklahoma has punted. They've scored on every other drive, trickling into the end zone. Oklahoma rolling over the Red Raiders. It's a Mount Rushmore of coaches around Oklahoma football. I go back to The great Benny Owen, coach from 2005 to 1905, rather, to 1926. Then Bud Wilkinson, Barry Switzer won 3 national titles. Bob Stoops won a national championship in 2000. Benny Owen actually won a total of 410 games as a coach here, between football, basketball, and baseball. He coached all 3 sports in the early 20th century. That pass is intercepted by, it's incomplete. Almost intercepted by Quentin Carter. Quentin, I'm trying to give you a pick today. And that one was nearly an interception, incomplete pass.
And it's good protection. We've talked about that a number of times today, and that's an accuracy issue. Taylor Potts, normally a very accurate guy like Landry Jones. We've now seen 3, 4, 5 passes where you must be precise within this offense.
On 2nd and 10. Crawford, the junior out of Memphis, Tennessee, keeps the legs churning to the 39.
You know, Texas Tech plays on artificial surface. This is their 6th game on the road on grass. And a couple times they've slipped down. He almost slipped there, but actually helped him because he slipped, stopped people from coming after him, and then got about 10 more yards after contact.
Well, I'll tell you, all 3 backs, Batch, Stevens, Crawford, these guys can run through tackles. I think Oklahoma assumes if they get there, they're going to bring them down. They've got to wrap up, be a little more fundamentally sound tackling.
Stevens stood up. Quentin Carter there on the stop after a 4-yard gain.
And again, they're running the zone read. We keep talking about this because the quarterback can keep this about any time he wanted. If you watch here, just see what his reaction is. It's where his eyes are at. There he plays it actually pretty well. I would have had a give there for sure, but they have not respected the quarterback keep all day long.
It's 2nd and 6 with Taylor Potts, senior out of Abilene, Texas. Setting up the screen, throws it back. Batch makes the grab. There's the slip. He's going to lose it after the catch on the screen. Well, he's a part-time superhero and a dad, but now his secret identity has been exposed. Will his fight for justice jeopardize the lives of everyone he loves? Michael Chiklis stars in ABC's No Ordinary Family, all new Tuesday, 8, 7 Central on ABC. Taylor is down on the field. That's Adrian Taylor, the senior out of Mansfield, Texas, one of the real leaders on this Oklahoma team and on this Oklahoma defense. In fact, he and Jeremy Beal sharing that Don Key Award, which is given to.
And that's unfortunate. Adrian Taylor, a guy that suffered a really catastrophic dislocated ankle in the Sun Bowl a year ago, has come back, as you said, Carter, to be a real leader. And now again, looks like they're working on the lower leg as he's gotten himself back from really a gross injury a year ago.
This is a tough one. One of the senior leaders of Oklahoma's football team being carted off the field on his senior day. Adrian Taylor, the senior from Mansfield, Texas.
Doesn't look like he's hit or leg whipped or anything. That's just, I hate to see that for a senior that's worked so hard to get himself back on the field.
That looks like an Achilles tendon type. There's something that goes without contact, which is difficult. So again, we wish him well.
And that was before the game. Jeremy Beal and Adrian Taylor being presented with the Don Key Award. This is 3rd down and 8 for Texas Tech. Potts throws complete near the first down at the 50. It's Lewis who makes the catch.
I tell you what, great accuracy on that throw and great job of coming back between defenders. Very small window there, great patience, and again, see him come back, beat the defender back to the ball.
Both teams no huddle, hurry up offense is pressing the tempo. Batch gets the handoff on 1st down and picks up a positive 4 yards before Quentin Carter makes a stop.
And if they're going to control the ball, it's going to have to be with a mix of run and pass with a heavy dose of Baron Batch.
Well, that zone read, as you saw with the defensive end on the last play, that can slow down a defense. You talk about running to set up play action. Well, running also can slow down very active defensive lines.
Watch the throw on 2nd and 6. Off the hands of Tremaine Swindoll.
Nice job. They brought some pressure, and he threw in the void. But you're right. The other thing about the zone read, it'll keep the defensive ends from just pinning their ears back and coming after you. So, again, it'll help you even in the pass game.
Third down. Long drop for Potts on 3rd and 6. Over the middle. It's Batch out of the backfield. Wrestled down short of a first down. Austin Box makes the stop. The middle linebacker who is coming back from a serious back injury.
Brent Venables, defensive coordinator, excited to have Austin Box back. Said that he had a significant injury to the point where they almost had back surgery to end his career. And like Adrian Taylor, you just got to give those guys, these college athletes, credit for all that they have to do as student athletes and rehab and working and surgeries to get back on this field. In that case, like a really saving tackle on 3rd down.
Moore hangs the punt high. Ryan Broyles will make the fair catch at the 16. 10th time that LaCourse punted inside the 20. Well, tonight the ball coach back in Gainesville. The SEC East title is on the line. College football primetime presented by Hampton Hotels on ESPN tonight, 7:15 Eastern. This should be a fun one.
A tough dose, though. South Carolina 0-12 all-time in Gainesville. That's a rough one for the old ball coach.
And South Carolina has never won the SEC East, never played in that championship game. Would be quite a statement for Steve Spurrier and a step forward for his program there if they can find a way to win tonight.
On 1st down, Finch gets the handoff, tries to stretch it to the outside. But Trey Porter is there waiting for him. No gain. So a couple of guys who are going to get to know each other over the next few years. Finch, the true freshman running back for Oklahoma. Trey Porter, the true freshman safety from Midwest City, Oklahoma, just up the road. And the Red Raider defensive secondary. Jones to throw off the hands of Stills. There was contact, but no flag.
Ooh, that jersey was stretched just a little bit prior to the catch. I'll tell you what, I think he got away with one on that. Jarvis Phillips might have been just hanging on just a little bit. Did a nice job of setting it up there. Again, you can watch right here.
Wouldn't you like to see him threaten a little bit more off the line of scrimmage?
I would. He has to get the guy's momentum going, have him shift his body weight, then make that move.
Quickly to 3rd down. Jones to throw. Finch incomplete. Trying the wheel out of the backfield. Well, when you have a quick tempo, no huddle team, you can go 3 and out very quickly, which is what Oklahoma does here.
And that's back-to-back stops for Texas Tech defense. And I'll tell you, you look statistically at Texas Tech, and they've been in nearly every game this season. There's been a quarter in each of their games where they've given up 21, 24, 21, and then they have found a way to settle down a little bit. So if they could put a drive together, score a touchdown here going into halftime, at least their defense can go in knowing they've stopped the Sooners back-to-back occasions.
And they've come from behind on 2 or 3 different occasions this year by multiple 2 and 3 scores to win games.
Including Missouri a week ago. Tigers were up 14-0. Tech came back to win it. But this is a 31-7 lead for Oklahoma nearing the end of the second, which means a halftime report brought to you by Capital One is coming up. Robert Flores will get you updated on everything going on around college football, including the Georgia-Auburn game and a TCU-San Diego State game. That's a 56-yard punt from Tress Way, backing Texas Tech up to the 26. Stevens gets only a couple.
And again, Texas Tech demonstrating some patience. They're coming out running the football. And again, they want to keep balance. They want to keep the Oklahoma guys up front from pinning their ears back and coming after the pass.
Potts pressured and sacked on second down. It's Jeremy Beal with his second sack of the day.
And again, you can't take a sack in that situation. You'd rather see him throw the ball away. 1, to save yardage, and 2, to stop that clock.
Timeout, Oklahoma.
30 seconds.
30 seconds. Timeout.
Let's take a look at the BCS standings brought to you by Discover. And there's some intrigue right now with Auburn trailing against Georgia. TCU with a missed extra point, down by 1 versus San Diego State.
And I'll tell you, Georgia is a very different team with A.J. Green. It's helped a young quarterback. They've won 5 of 6 games. Does not surprise me at all that Auburn, who's had some difficulty within their secondary, is struggling a bit with the Bulldogs. And really, amidst all of this controversy and all of this talk and all of this speculation right now, that is the Auburn football program.
How about TCU, the last team to win on this field as a visitor in 2005, first game of 2005.
Brady Hoke at San Diego State has assembled a dynamite staff around him.
On third down, out of the timeout, Lewis makes the catch for Texas Tech. Well short. Oklahoma's going to get the football back with over a minute to go.
Brock, you're right. Al Borges, their offensive coordinator, Dan Frigno, their receiver coach, both worked for me at different times at Oregon. And then Rocky Long was the head coach of New Mexico, was a great defensive coordinator at Oregon State for a long, long time. That staff is for real. The other thing, too, is just having that game be close certainly is going to help Boise in this whole thing.
Yeah, you would think so. And TCU coming off of an emotional, enormous victory on the road a week ago at Utah. And how many times in college football when you're dealing with 18 and 22-year-olds, and you did it, Mike, and you tried to talk to them and emphasize, to come back.
See these gray hairs? That's you're right. I tried to talk to them way too much. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Well, just to come off of that kind of victory and face San Diego State, who's respectable, who's had some nice games, who's leading the Mountain West in many statistical categories, that sense of urgency, and to do it week after week after week, which you have to do where every week matters in college football. TCU in a tango right now with San Diego State.
McClure hangs the punt. Ryan Broyles going to take it at the 35 and attempt to return this one. Gets about 10 on the far sideline. Knocked right into the Texas Tech bench. So Oklahoma gets it. They have gone over on their last 2 drives point-wise after 5 straight scoring drives. 4 of those were touchdowns, 1 field goal. Punt, 3 and out on the last possession by Oklahoma.
Well, I'd have to imagine you're going to see a little bit of Ryan Broyles here. You get into these situations and your offense is lagging a little bit. You're ahead. Again, that sense of urgency. You're ahead 31-7. This is a time where I probably try to dial up my best offensive player with Murray out. That's going to be Broyles.
Moses Madu is in the backfield right now for Oklahoma. Landry Jones throwing on first down. It's Kenny Stills out of the backfield, sprinting ahead for a 9-yard gain before Jarvis Phillips brings him down.
Brock, you're exactly right, too, with DeMarco Murray out, because, again, the last 2 series he hasn't been in there. They bogged down as an offense.
Jones on the slant, complete for an Oklahoma first down.
And again, double move in and out. Better job that time of setting up the DB, but also got the protection to wait for it.
Stills makes the grab. First down, Oklahoma. Rapid fire Oklahoma on offense, and they are rolling. Complete on the outside. James Hanna, the pass-catching tight end, inside the 20.
James Hanna, only 8 receptions on the year, but 5 for touchdowns. That's being efficient with the ball.
And now Oklahoma inside the Texas Tech 20. Plenty of time. 32 seconds left. Oklahoma still has a timeout. Jones pumps, looks back, pass caught, touchdown, Broyles. There's a flag down, but Broyles is into the end zone again. Second touchdown today, 10th of his junior season. If it stands.
I think that's that sluggo seam play that is so popular both professionally and now in the college level.
Personal foul. Hands to the face. Defense, number 95. That 15-yard penalty will be enforced on the kickoff. The touchdown is good.
And you see Landry Jones look one way, tries to influence those very young safeties for Texas Tech, and he knows he has Ryan Broyles, who in one-on-one situations locked up with Porter, the safety, because of his body control, in his feel, in his sense of timing. Well, he delivers once again. And look at that touchdown production. 31 now. Already the #1 receiver in receptions. Now ties the touchdown mark as well.
PAT good from Jimmy Stevens. So Oklahoma still leaves 27 seconds on the clock because they get a touchdown in just 38 seconds. Don't even need the timeout to get it into the end zone. An Oklahoma team to talk offensively throughout the week about let's not settle for field goals. Let's not get stuffed at the goal line like we were against Texas A&M. Sooners are finishing drives against Texas Tech. Our Big 12 standings presented by Dr. Pepper shows Oklahoma State atop the Big 12 South, Texas at the bottom. Texas has not finished in sole possession of last place since 1956, Southwest Conference.
And those two go at it tonight. Correct? Texas, do they have any chance? You live down in Austin, Carter. Do they have any chance to resurrect their season? You heard Mac Brown this morning on game day. Very intense interview with Tom Rinaldi. Has he lost his team? Is hard on his coaches? Do you get any sense living down there at Austin that they can turn things around tonight?
Well, Oklahoma State's going to be a tough one. I mean, the Cowboys are rolling. The Cowboys are rolling. But, I mean, Texas is a very talented football team. There's talent all over the field for a long run.
So you're saying there's a chance?
I'm saying there's a chance. Short field, easy touchback. Red
27 seconds. Now, I'll tell you what, with a Mike Leach team, you know you'd see them come out firing that ball, trying to score. I don't know what's going to happen here with the Tommy Tuberville coach team.
You know, I'm a little surprised at this. I thought that Oklahoma would get it going, as they've done all season long. Every time they have faced adversity, they've come off a loss and really responded. And offensively, outside of 2 drives, they've been just about spot on. But their defense today is really taking it upon themselves at home. And Texas Tech, I'm surprised at this point, just 7 points on the board.
Watson, the Red Raiders from the 20, handing off the Batch. So running the football with less than 30 seconds remaining in the first half.
Stop the bleeding in this half. Get out of it. Let's not give them another chance. Come back and we'll play the second half.
And Texas Tech is likely just going to go to the locker room, trailing Oklahoma 38-7. Oh, it's good to be home for the Oklahoma Sooners. 38-7 lead at the half. Stay tuned after the break for the Capital One Halftime Report. In Norman, Oklahoma on Senior Day. Oklahoma has not lost here since 2005. A 38-7 lead on Texas Tech at the half. I'm Carter Blackburn with former Oregon head coach Mike Bellotti, former Washington quarterback Brock Heward. It is rapid fire football in the Big 12 South. Already 84 plays from scrimmage. The mantra for Oklahoma was finish, get in the end zone. They did it 5 times in the first half.
And 377 yards offensively. If you're Oklahoma on Senior Day, this is about as perfect a script as you could write.
But they're really happy, too, because that 377 yards translated to 38 points.
Right.
So a point for almost every 10 yards, which is what they want in the long scheme.
Oklahoma has been much better at home. They have been much better offensively at home, and that continues today, getting ready for the start of the second half. So 38-7 right now. If you're Tommy Tuberville and Texas Tech, what are you talking about in that locker room?
Well, consistency. Don't worry about the first half. You can't control it. It's in the books. Let's go out this half, get some touchdowns, get back in this football game.
It has been the home team winning the last 6 times these teams have gotten together. Texas Tech's only win in Norman was 1996, first year of the Big 12. be Texas Tech receiving the kick. Jeffers on the return. Dropped short of the 15-yard line. Let's look at our Pacific Life game summary, and as you might expect, full of offensive fireworks for Oklahoma and Landry Jones.
Landry just did a really nice job of distributing the football all over the field, short, deep, out of his hands, seeing the blitz, playing with tremendous tempo and rhythm and accuracy. And how about Ryan Broyles? It helps when you have the most prolific receiver in the history of Oklahoma's program to throw to.
31 career touchdown receptions now for Ryan Broyles, with 2 in the first half. On first down, it's Eric Stevens stretched out, minimal gain. Texas Tech scored on its opening possession. That was the touchdown pass from the wide receiver Detron Lewis to Darren Moore. And no points on the board since then, when it was a 7-7 game.
Too much speed by the Oklahoma defense. You can't run laterally against them. You're better off running north and south.
Back into the game. This is a Texas Tech team off its biggest win of the season at home versus Missouri, and come from behind fashion a week ago. And on the road, where Oklahoma has won 35 straight, it is all Sooners this afternoon. Play clock winding down. Potts gives to Batch, breaks free. This is Baron Batch, all the way into Oklahoma territory before Jonathan Nelson finally brings him down.
And I guarantee you the Texas Tech coaches talk too about patience. They can't get it all back at once, but we can chip away. We've got to get some first downs. We got to get some third down conversions, and we got to run the football to keep that defense honest.
And what patience you see there from the senior Batch to allow that fast flow you talked about to get out of their gaps, and he hits it north and south.
37-yard pickup, moving the football for Texas Tech. Play fake to Stevens. Potts pass tipped at the line. Incomplete. Stacy McGee got a hand on it.
You actually look at the very active defensive end, Jeremy Beal, 2.5 tackles for loss, a sack and a half as well. He passes now in second place all time at Oklahoma in tackles for loss. Has a sense of timing to get his hands up when he couldn't get to the quarterback.
How about defensively in the first half? Quentin Carter had 11 tackles. Eric Stevens, no gain again. Austin Box makes the tackle.
And they're playing Beal up a lot like Oregon does with its defensive ends, playing them so they can get, again, be a little bit more mobile, be a little bit more agile in terms of the zone read, but also get their hands up in the air a little bit quicker on the quick throws.
And remember, Beal, a high school All-American linebacker, very comfortable in space, probably a prototype 3-4 outside linebacker at the next level that's very adept at rushing the passer.
On 3rd and 10, Potts down the middle, off the fingertips of Lyle Leong, and incomplete.
And he's their big play guy. He's got the most touchdowns this year. He's the home run threat, averaging the most per reception. But again, just can't hook up here. See the deep crossing route. He buys time, steps up in the pocket, just a little bit overthrown, and that would have been a big play otherwise.
Just a number of occasions today, just a little bit off, and we've seen some fantastic receptions by these Red Raider receivers. But Neil Brown was exactly right going into this game, talking to us, saying Taylor Potts has to be sharp. Cannot miss if we have a chance to move the chains. He has not been, and that's 7 points this afternoon.
Coors punt bounces to the 16. This week on ESPN's Monday Night Football, Donovan McNabb and the Washington Redskins host NFC East rival Philadelphia Eagles. Redskins, 8:30 Eastern. Coverage begins 7 Eastern with Monday Night Countdown served by Applebee's. Will Donovan McNabb get to quarterback his football team for 4 quarters?
That's an interesting matchup. Yeah, you're right. The 0 interceptions versus the 8. That's amazing. I'll tell you what. Maybe there was a good reason for them to make that trade.
Let's go, Sooners!
A lot more passing yards for Donovan McNabb. DeMarco Murray back into the game at tailback for Oklahoma. Picks up just a couple on first down. Murray left the game in the second quarter, appeared to have A problem with his ribs after a hard hit, and now he's going to take second down off.
And that's unfortunate because he was off to a fantastic start early in this game.
Yeah, he was running the ball as well as I've seen him this year, and I think really excited about maybe his senior day, but also just helping this offense.
Start of the third quarter, already more yards for Oklahoma than they had in last week's loss to Texas A&M. They're going to get a few more yards here. This is Trey Franks, the true freshman who is really coming on. There's a flag down.
There's a flag down from back here. It may be a pick or a block or something on an offensive receiver. I'm not sure, but rarely do you get open that well without a little bit of help, maybe pushing off or something. But the side judge, excuse me, called this flag. Oh yeah, they're going to call the block for sure. That you saw.
Pass interference, offense, number 47. 15-yard penalty from the previous spot. Second down. Correction. The distance to the goal. Second down.
And take a look here. You're going to see both of these receivers run a crossing route. And the inside slot receiver never gets his eyes to the quarterback. They're going to call that every time when you're coming across, and that's Trent Rattery, the tight end. You've got to show your numbers to the quarterback. Otherwise, that will generate a flag for a pick on every occasion.
Screen on second down. Goes nowhere.
We used to call that a rub route.
That's right. That's exactly right.
You rub the guy out, but you're right. You've got to put your hands up like you're going to catch the ball and make eye contact with the quarterback.
And often you can rub off of those officials at times when you run. It's an excellent concept versus that man coverage. You just got to disguise it a little bit better if you're a big tight end.
On 3rd and 15, Landry Jones steps up. Now he's going to have to run it, crossing the line of scrimmage. Landry Jones gets a nice block on the outside to make that one pretty interesting.
And maybe a late hit too on the sideline. I tell you, nice job by Landry because he went up the field, he cut out, he showed speed getting around the edge, and then could have gone out of bounds, but got close to the first down.
I believe it was Trent Rattery, the former walk-on tight end, who makes the block on the edge.
The runner was going north-south.
And you hear the referees say there, the runner's still going north to south.
Well, and the defender avoided the collision, too. I agree totally. That flag should be picked up.
So Texas Tech gets a 3-and-out on the first possession for Oklahoma in the second half. Oklahoma scored on its first 5 possessions of the first half. 4 touchdowns and a field goal. Wade, the sophomore out of Tulsa, runs it to Detron Lewis. Lets it hit and roll. Exactly what Tommy Tuberville said he did not want to see from his punt return unit this week. He also didn't want to see the wrong end of a 38-7 score in the third.
Whatever.
This morning at the engineering building, 11 a.m., Dean Landers, who is the dean of the School of Engineering at Oklahoma, and a Texas Tech alum taking the first swing of the sledgehammer to the car in support of OU. A little Fast Times at Ridgemont High moment here in Norman this morning.
Yeah, that was Kill Lincoln, right? Lincoln High School.
This time it was Wreckham Tech. That's one of the Red Raiders' big rallying cries, Wreckham Tech. So Oklahoma, I guess, turned the wreck right back.
I've used a sledgehammer before, but they didn't call me to do a guest appearance on that one. I don't know why.
Here's a good shot of Mark Mangino. What a fun story we heard yesterday, didn't we? From Brent Venables talking about when Mangino and Leach were on staff here at Oklahoma. Mangino was the run game coordinator, and he'd say to Leach, how about this?
We're going to run the power is what he said. And Leach said what?
That's fine, but I'm calling the plays, and you can say whatever you want. I'm the one dialing them up, and there will be no power in the run game.
Potts pressured on 2nd and 8, and he is dropped.
I think there was no run game in the plan. That's what it was.
Bryce Macon gets the sack. Senior from Corpus Christi forcing Texas Tech into 3rd and long. And how about the defensive start from both the Red Raiders and the Sooners after there were 45 points on the board in the first half?
Remember, Oklahoma's challenged itself to finish, and to finish the 4th quarter and finish in the red zone. And again, I'm not sure they've done any of that
Trying to finish this defensive stop. 3rd and 13. Potts, long drop, delayed blitz. He tries to throw it to Batch, incomplete. We check in with Robert.
All right, Carter, Ohio State has come back. We'll get to that score momentarily, but meantime, TCU has scored 34 unanswered points, and they lead San Diego State 34-14 at the break. Ohio State has just gotten a pick 6. They've come back to claim the lead 17-14 at home against Penn State.
How about TCU take that? Horned Frog haters.
TCU's done that this year. They were in a close game with Oregon State early and just ran away from them in the second half, put the ball away, and they do it with defense and running game.
Well, it's a good thing they are, because Notre Dame is putting it to Utah, and that does not help TCU after their big win a week ago.
OU football up 31. We come back to Norman.
ESPN's College Football on ABC, brought to you by the new 2011 Jeep Grand Cherokee. The Home Depot. More saving, more doing. That's the power of the Home Depot. And Taco Bell. Think outside the bun.
The National Oil Well Barco Drilling Simulator, one of just a few in the world. It's a training simulator, not only for familiarization of various drilling operations, also trains the students all the aspects of surface tool operations here at the University of Oklahoma. Toss to Finch on first down, trying to get the corner. The true freshman is popped at the 50 by Cody Davis, the left safety.
Great job by the Texas Tech defense right there. Again, this is a misdirection play, and that they didn't bite on it. They were out there. They had 2 guys outside, and again, great hit to loss of 5 yards on the play. Not the way you want to start a drive.
Jones to throw on second down, complete to Millard out of the backfield, the true freshman from Columbia, Missouri.
And you've seen now on a few occasions over the last few drives where Texas Tech is just not sitting back, not sitting in that zone, waiting for things to happen. They have finally, over the last couple of possessions, been the aggressor defensively.
Sooners went 3 and out on their first possession of the third quarter, already facing third down on the second offensive possession. 3rd and 9, only one deep safety for Texas Tech. Here they come. Landry Jones steps up, and he is dropped.
And that looked a little bit like Texas A&M, didn't it? The film that we saw last week, where you give the Aggies a lot of credit for disguises and blitzes and really making life uncomfortable for Landry Jones. A lot of defenders moving around the line of scrimmage, and then finally finishing some of these tackles.
Braun Bird ends up getting the sack, the middle linebacker, after pressure from the entire Tech defense. So after giving up 38 in the first half, after giving up 18 Oklahoma first downs in the first half, the Red Raiders force 3 and out to start the third quarter. Lewis makes the catch at the 11. Texas Tech football. Who's going to get a first down? Never mind points in the third. The legendary voice of the Sooners, Bob Berry, is retiring at the end of this men's basketball season. This is his last home football game. 50 years sports broadcasting, so the Oklahoma band spelling out thanks, Bob. They announced that the Oklahoma radio booth will be called the Bob Berry Radio Booth. We are now, gentlemen, on the Bob Berry broadcast level of the press box here. Really nice scene.
50 years is a long time. I almost know that because I'm almost there.
Potts to throw, incomplete. Bob told the crowd he figured out the other day that he was born just 3 days prior to the Star Spangled Banner being named the national anthem, and when he realized that, he said, if I'm older than the national anthem, I'm hanging it up. But still a men's basketball season ahead for Bob Berry. Yeah, here we are, right on the Bob Berry broadcast level.
Well, congratulations for 50 years. Incredible stability.
Hoping to have a couple more chances here today to get his signature touchdown Oklahoma call. On 2nd and 10, incomplete.
You know what you found a number of times today, and it was kind of fun yesterday to have both Brent Venables, defensive coordinator, and Willie Martinez, now the secondary coach that comes over from Georgia, in the room. And you know what, for now 40-some minutes of this game that we have seen, very few easy completions. And normally Texas Tech can throw these bubble screens and throw these little slants and throw these little in routes and have just space. And today, this Oklahoma secondary and really the back 7 linebackers as well have not given Taylor Potts easy throws and easy completions.
And they're being very physical at the point of attack, even if it's outside.
3rd and 10, flag.
Delay a game, offense, number 12. 5-yard penalty.
Oh, it cracks me up when they call it on the quarterback, number 12. It could be the center. They may have been changing protections at the line of scrimmage. And again, either the center sometimes is watching the clock, say, I'm going to snap it anyway, so you better be ready.
You know, and Brent Venables, to add final point to that, talked about Willie Martinez getting these cornerbacks to realize the why. Why are they doing this? Why are they lining up this way, stemming this way, giving me this look? Allows you to react and be the aggressor and to be physical at the point.
Texas Tech facing 3rd and 15 now. Potts from the end zone. Tipped and incomplete. McFarland got a hand on it. That is big Jamarcus McFarland, the sophomore from Lufkin, Texas. Knocking the pass down. Texas Tech goes 3 and out.
3rd and extra long situations. How many times do you see line games up front, Coach?
Almost every time, because you don't want to just pure straight rush. But this is a great job of coming all the way around the outside and dropping that center of gravity to run that hoop, as we call it, which they practice every day. And Oklahoma going to get great field position off of this punt, one way or the other. Except it's a great punt over the top.
Good kick away from Broyles.
Great job.
LaCour on his own end zone out to the 47. Well, only 2 races left in the tightest championship battle in Chase history. The chase for the NASCAR Sprint Cup continues with the Cobalt Tools 500 at Phoenix on ESPN tomorrow, 3 Eastern, with Carl Edwards on the pole. But it's now Denny Hamlin in the lead.
But Jimmy Johnson's got a new pit crew. I heard that. That's okay. He can do that with his partner. It's all for the team, right?
A lot more 4-tire changes this past week as well. After the 46-yard punt, Finch takes a big hit on the first down carry. Still picks up 3.
We've seen Finch now on a few occasions, and he does have suddenness. He gets up to full speed quickly. I'll be curious to see if he can add some strength, because there's a number of occasions when he gets hit first, he's going down.
Quick hitter on 2nd down. It's Millard out of the backfield. 2nd catch in the last drives for Trey Miller, the guy they call the load. True freshman from Columbia, Missouri, Rockbridge High School. And he plays like he's out of Rockbridge High School.
They had a guy open deep. I apologize, but they may go back to the same play. They had the tight end open deep on the last minute. They did. They went right back to the same play they covered at that time. They're still going to get the completion. And we talked about how coaches sometimes are willing to repeat plays, get him in a fast situation, see a guy open. That was relayed up to the booth and back down the field. Let's call the same play.
This is the first down of the second half on that last completion. First 5 of the game, 31 points. Last 5, only 1 touchdown, 4 3 and outs. Only 2 possessions of the 3rd quarter, but 3 and out for Oklahoma. 2nd and short now. Play fake. Landry Jones, incomplete. That Finch there in the flat.
A little too much pressure, couldn't set his feet, didn't get much on this throw, underthrew it. And again, when the back is running directly away from him, he's got no chance to adjust his route to come back to the ball.
And you saw the eyes deep down the field. Usually Landry's got a pretty good awareness of the clock in his head. That time he's trying to hit that big play down the field. To your point, if you can get that ball out there just a little bit quicker, you give yourself a chance.
Landry Jones still 21 for 28, 309 yards, 4 touchdown passes. 3rd and short here. Finch cuts it back. And off for an Oklahoma first down to the 21. Trey Porter makes the stop.
And with those 4 touchdown passes, I'll tell you what you really like to see in the development of a quarterback. Now 26 touchdowns on the year, Coach, just 6 interceptions.
No question. That touchdown to interception ratio is one of the keys by which I evaluate quarterback play.
Finch again on first down. Rolling through the Texas Tech defense, it's DJ Johnson making the touchdown saving tackle.
Some of that power you wanted to see. That's again, right. And now a little bit more agility if he rolled off that. But he's a low center of gravity, much like some of the other backs we've seen. Again, you got to get him low. You can't bump him down. You got to tackle him down.
And James Willis, defensive coordinator, is going to have some film to teach tackling to after this game.
53 yards rushing for Finch on the day and a touchdown. First and goal inside the 10. Oklahoma had so much trouble last week. Throwing on first down this time. Caught for touchdown. Number 3 of the day for Ryan Broyles. The 5th touchdown pass by Landry Jones today.
And you hear the term thrown out by analysts and otherwise, body control. This receiver's got body control. Speak to this, Coach.
Well, it's hard to. One, he tracked the ball. 2, he went over the top without any. Got the ball in his hands and then came down and controlled it through the contact with the ground. Great throw and great catch. And again, the only thing I'm going to say about Oklahoma is that's too easy. I think they, as coaches and players, maybe needed to run that ball in to get down and punch it in from the 5-yard line after last week, excuse me. But great throw, great catch.
And I'm going to say, as a quarterback, I love it.
Yeah,
just keep going up. And you know, number 5. Let's just keep this thing rolling.
Points are points. They don't give you any more if you throw it in or run it in. That's what I've always told people over the years. Because why didn't you run it and why didn't you throw it in? Hey, it doesn't matter. It's still a touchdown.
And if they're going to leave one-on-one situations, you see Broyles with that reception past Mark Clayton. I get your point, and I understand that. And you want to emphasize things. You want to be more physical. But you know and I know, if you're going to leave my best player in a one-on-one, man-to-man, I've got to take advantage of that.
Absolutely. And once again, we're seeing Landry Jones be almost perfect. He's thrown a couple balls away. I don't think he's thrown any that were in harm's way. And again, put his players in a position to have success.
So what is it? When we've looked at the film now on a couple occasions, we've had Oklahoma both times after losses. The throttling of Colorado played much the same way. Today, nearly flawless. What's been the difference for Landry in our games we've seen versus the tape we watched?
Having a running game where, again, it's efficient, and 2, the better protection. There's no question that he is more efficient at home right now, more comfortable at home, whether it's the surface, the wind, etc.
I want to know when this picture is going to be taken. Been posing for a while now.
Hey, my head's getting, it's heavy to hold my head up like that. Come on.
Is that just me? Does that look like a young Sam Bradford?
It does. You're right. Absolutely.
It was fun when we bobble on the kickoff there from Stevens, and he's going to pick it up and run across the 20. It was funny. We were talking with the OU coaches yesterday. Fun. I mean, as they talked about senior day and said, in a football tradition-rich place like this, you're going to be coming back here for the rest of your lives. You're going to bring your kids back to Oklahoma. Telling the seniors, you haven't lost on your home field. Finish out your Oklahoma home career. Last thing you want to do is walk away from here knowing that you took a loss the last time you were on the field.
And to play the level they have today. And this is the way you want to go out. And not just in a victorious way, but making a real statement to all these 85,000 and responding to a bit of adversity off the loss.
Change of quarterback for Texas Tech. It's Stephen Sheffield, the senior from Austin, Texas, Connolly High School, who started last week, handing off on first down.
Well, as we talked about, you saw all those records and all the things. It's not only a testament to those seniors, it's a testament to the entire program, to the coaches. You saw earlier, Bob Stoops is one of 4 coaches to win over 120 games here. And it's not a long time. Their winning percentage is unbelievable. So Oklahoma has a very fabled and well-deserved football reputation.
And second and short after the pickup by Batch. Sheffield gives it right back to him. No gain here, as Austin Fox makes a tackle for loss. In reading a lot of the newspaper articles and coverage after Oklahoma lost on the road again last week, second loss out of the national championship, you'd have thought that the sky was falling over Norman, Oklahoma. Bob Stoops in his 12th season. How difficult is that when you get to year 12, especially with all the early success that Oklahoma had, national championship in 2000? How difficult is it when you get to this point?
It is, and the sky is falling for the fans because they've set the bar so high. But Bob Stoops is a great football coach. He's got patience. he's got a recognition of reality, I guess is the best way to put it. He and his staff went right back to work, said, here's what we do, here's how we win the conference championship, get in the conference game. Still BCS we have a possibility. So all that stuff is still there. We just got to work a little bit harder.
I love the stat that the 3 years prior to his arrival, the first 3 years of the Big 12, Oklahoma went 8-16. Since then, they have gone 80-19. 6 Big 12 conference titles. That leads all the Big 12 schools. And even though with 2 losses, national championship number 8 won't come this year for Oklahoma. As Moore makes a nice grab. This is a team that is still in play for the Big 12 title, in the odd position of rooting for Texas tonight against Oklahoma State, who's the Big 12 South leader. But there's still Oklahoma versus Oklahoma State to come, Oklahoma at Baylor to come.
And they're going to have to take this kind of game to the road. That's what else you read throughout the papers this week. Why the dominance at home, why the execution at home, and why not on the road? Why the efforts at Missouri and the big plays and the lack of finish? They're going to get 2 more weeks, 2 more opportunities to finish this season. To, in the words of Bob Stoops, execute, make those plays in the red zone. It isn't rocket science. We watched the film. They play faster at home. They feed off this crowd. It's hard. It's hard to go into difficult environments in college football and win. Your margin of error becomes so slim, Coach. Fans don't want to hear execution, but isn't that really the gist?
Absolutely. And I think you can't discount the noise factor. And when they're trying to play fast on the road, the noise affects them. But they've got to play better defensively on the road. And that's playing more people, keeping them fresh into the 4th quarter. They talked about it. I think they'll do it today. It's great to get everybody on the field because they want those kids to be able to play in prime time too, on the road when it counts.
And I think that's an excellent point. When you looked at Oregon a week ago playing 25 guys defensively and being fresh in the second half, and the struggles with Oklahoma this year being outscored by 50 points, and you can see the road struggles to this point. You've got to, if you're going to play up tempo as Oklahoma likes to do, you have got to play more guys defensively.
How fast do you think that Oklahoma versus Oklahoma State game will move with the way that those 2 teams like to play? This one slowed down a little bit as it's gotten to a 38-point differential. Sheffield looking downfield, incomplete, intended for Lewis. That was Fleming in coverage.
Well, it's really the critical thing when you look at Oregon, as we saw, #1 in the polls. And it's not just because they lead the nation in scoring and their offense is potent and unbelievable. They've got tremendous special teams, an area of concern for Oklahoma this year. In fact, their 2 losses, they give up 2 huge kickoff return touchdowns. And then defensively, they play so many people and get contributions from 20-plus guys defensively. And as I said, if you're going to run that style of offense, you better have fresh bodies late in the game.
Right, and what Oregon has found and what other coaches still fear is the young guys that haven't played as much, the lack of experience factor. Those things you're a little bit less likely to put them into the game. But once you do, you'll never know until you play them. And once they get the confidence of being in there where coaches say, I can make the play. He's putting me in at the right time when it really counts. Their confidence goes way up.
That's trust, isn't it?
Exactly.
Well, Bob Stoops, so much of the question about Oklahoma was how come you 3 times were inside your opponent's 4 and came away with 0 points last week at Texas A&M. He said my biggest concern coming away from that game was the fact we keep giving up 4th quarter scoring and 4th quarter big plays. Texas A&M had touchdowns at 23 and 64 in the 4th last week. But the OU defense is still playing solid as we near the end of the 3rd here, forcing the incompletion and the punt from Tech.
And you see the OU defense is clued in today. They know where the ball is going. They're getting the pressure in there. They're still covering the safety valves, so the quarterback has really nowhere to go with the ball.
That's right. This is the 8th best passing offense in America in Texas Tech. They're still putting it over 300 yards a game, 21st at 438 yards a game. And you're seeing them dismantled here by Oklahoma defensively.
LaCour's punt. Roll inside the 20 as Broyles lets it hit. Take a look at our Chick-fil-A drive recap, or maybe it should be the Chick-fil-A drives recap. The Oklahoma touchdowns. First it was Jones to DeMarco Murray out of the backfield. A field goal made it 10-7. It was Jones to Kenny Stills, the true freshman. And then the 29-yard run from the other great true freshman, Finch. Broyles touchdown catch #1. #2. and number 3, making him Oklahoma's career touchdown receptions leader. 5 touchdown passes on the day from Landry Jones. And 45 on the board. Moses Madu is in a tailback now for Oklahoma, picking up a solid 7 on first down.
Well, you talked about wanting that emphasis down there to run the ball a little bit. Isn't this your opportunity now if you're Oklahoma?
Absolutely. But I think the biggest challenge is coming up. Oklahoma's been outscored in the fourth quarter. And whether it's been because they couldn't score, other teams were behind and they had to score, they still have the challenge of the fourth quarter and offsetting that 81-32 deficit in terms of scoring.
It's a big one. Minus 49 in the fourth. Millard stopped on second down, so third down already coming up. That's Colby Whitlock on the stop. Senior from Oklahoma.
But I think, Brock, you're right. I think everybody in the stadium would like to see Oklahoma run the ball down the. They want to see them score points, to tell you the truth. But I think deep down, for the coaches, for the offensive line, for the running backs, run the ball, run it downhill, run it when everybody knows you're going to run it, and still be successful.
We'll see what Oklahoma does here on third down and 1 with the clock rolling toward a minute left before the fourth. Jones is going to toss it. Madu has the first down. And Moses Madu all the way down to the 35. So not only running it, but picking up a big one in the run game from Moses Madu.
And it's okay to get the big runs. It doesn't have to be 3 yards in a cloud of dust. Let's go 40 yards in a cloud of dust.
And just man on man, winning those battles at the line of scrimmage to free up yet another Oklahoma Sooner senior in Madu.
Quick snap. Madu gets it again on first down. After a 34-yard rush, Madu picks up 5 more.
And one of the keys in winning on the road, and I've always felt this way, Mike, that is when you can run the ball, when you can control the line of scrimmage, when you can take a crowd out of a game by running it on the road and playing at Baylor and at Oklahoma State and Bedlam, will be critical the next 2 weeks.
You're absolutely right. The other thing, too, is watch the Texas Tech defensive linemen. Between plays now, their hands are on their hips. They're getting tired. The pace is getting to them, and the fact that they've been on the field so long.
Chick-fil-A drive recap. We showed you all of those touchdowns. 11 drives, 6 touchdowns, 493 yards of total offense for Oklahoma today. The Sooners have run 57 plays from the line of scrimmage, and we're not even to the fourth quarter yet. 3rd and 1. Did Landry Jones get the first?
Well, suffice it to say, I think Tommy Tuberville, a defensive-minded guy, has got quite a bit of work to do in Lubbock to get that emphasis defensively.
He knows it. He knew it when he took the job. He knows it now. He's talked about the fact that he will recruit equally to both sides of the ball going forward.
The Texas Tech recruiting class is ranked number 20. I talked to some very knowledgeable Texas Tech fans this week, and they say, hey, we understand the deal. There's still a divided fan base there with the way that things ended with Mike Leach. And there's still a division, but a lot of folks around Lubbock know, hey, we know it's going to take a couple of years to build this defense up and to play the way that Tommy Tuberville wants to play. They have an excellent recruiting class coming in, again, ranked by ESPNU, number 20 in the nation, and playmakers on both sides of the ball.
Let me say this. There shouldn't be a divided fan base. Right now, you can't go back. Let's go forward, support the coaches there, let him get his job done.
Oklahoma's going to try and run one more play before the fourth. They didn't get it off. So to the fourth quarter we go. It's Oklahoma by 38 on Texas Tech. But can the Sooners finally win a fourth? In Norman, Oklahoma, it is the Sooners 45, the Texas Tech Red Raiders 7. Carter Blackburn with Brock Heward and the man who's been making headlines, Mike Bellotti, former Oregon head coach. The Denver Post, and it's all over the wires now, reporting that you have spoken with Colorado about their vacant head coaching job. What is the status?
I've been contacted. We've had very preliminary discussions. That's about it at this point. And I've been contacted by a couple schools. I hopefully you would be as a coach and with the record and all that stuff. But I love my job job right here, I'm sort of happy.
Oh, isn't that sweet? Isn't that sweet? Thank you, Coach. We just want to make sure we got spots on a potential staff if you do come
You
back.
guys, yeah, you're my D-line coach and you're my offensive line coach. How'd that be?
Good. I think that's.
Oh, sorry. Maybe my quarterback's coach.
We're gonna be pulling a lot. I can guarantee you that. It's not gonna be three yards in a cloud of dust if I'm the offensive line coach. Maybe a cloud of dust going the other way.
You know, one of the other things they've got to determine, depending on how DeMarco Murray is they've got to get Madu comfortable carrying the football, not fumbling. This is a test for him, too, here in this fourth quarter.
Let's get back to Mike Bellotti. We got a chance to look at that Oregon program up close and personal last week. Thank you for hosting us there in Eugene. But it is truly amazing, Mike, at what you built as head coach and AD. They're bringing in Chip Kelly. I mean, it's pretty stunning that just a few short years ago, he was the offensive coordinator at New Hampshire. Now the head coach of the #1 undefeated team in the nation. And if Oregon can take care of business, they'll play for a national championship.
They're in a great position, and I'll tell you what, I think Chip and his staff have done a great job. And with the development of Darren Thomas, we've talked about, I think that's been the linchpin, so to speak. They lost Jeremiah Masoli, but Darren Thomas is actually a better passer. They're averaging more per play this year offensively, and they've improved the defense by, Brock, you talked about it, playing more people on defense to stay fresh.
Yeah, I think the misperception out there is it is all offense, and Chip Kelly is some wonderkin that has some scheme that's just outsmarted everybody.
Holding offense, number 33. 10-yard penalty, first down.
But when you dig in and you look at it, and Bob Stoops addressed it this week with us, it's about doing things the right way. It's about your preparation and how you execute. And Oregon practices as fast and as competitively as anybody in the country. And they've understood and bought into the special teams and the defensive component it takes if you're going to run the table and play consistently week in and week out.
It may be kind of a crazy speed, but it's tough to stop crazy.
It is, and it's tough to prepare for it in a week. Even Oklahoma plays fast. Again, their no-huddle scheme, what they do with the combination run and pass, puts a lot of pressure on the defense because you cannot simulate in practice how fast they're going to come at you.
Braun Bird laying it on Roy Finch.
That's a mismatch in size. That's about 185 and 250.
That's mojo right there, Odessa Permian.
But to some degree, isn't this good contact for Roy Finch? If he's going to be a guy that's going to carry it 15 or 20 times here over the next 2-3 years, he's got to learn to fight through some of that contact.
And also to protect himself at the end of a play, to know when to get down to protect your body.
Finch turns it up inside the 20. OU's in the red zone again. We check in with Robert.
All right, Carter, AT&T All-America Player of the Week update. Northwestern quarterback Dan Persa, 2 touchdowns through the air, 1 on the ground as Northwestern upset Iowa, but season-ending Achilles injury for Persa. You can text VOTE to 345-345.
That is a tough one for Persa. Oklahoma quick snaps, bench, minimal gain. Northwestern beating Iowa again. The Wildcats have something on those Iowa Hawkeyes.
Persa, a very accurate quarterback, which again, in any offense, it doesn't matter what you run. If you have an accurate quarterback, you have a chance to move the football.
So Bob Stoops in Oklahoma isn't the only one that goes on the road and struggles, right? I mean, I think many fans think that. Wow, if you do it here, why can't you do it? Because going on the road, you have got to play at a much higher level, especially when you have a home field advantage like you do here at Owen Field. You have got to play. And you can't have that. That's exactly what you can have. You can make up for missed field goals at home up 45-7, but it's caught up to them at times this year. Special teams, defense, team effort if you're going to be #1 in America.
The sun sets on a Sooner Saturday with Oklahoma up 45-7 on the Texas Tech Red Raiders. Taylor Potts back at quarterback for Tech.
Is that a nice bit of alliteration there? I'm not going to try to repeat it, so it's good for you.
Brock wrote it down in block letters for me, so got to give him credit. I don't do cursive. Thank you for bringing your Big Chief tablet.
Well, Mike, you mentioned it. They're going to break. Fourth quarter, what do you see from Oklahoma?
Well, unfortunately, they missed a scoring opportunity, missed a field goal. Doesn't matter if it's a field goal or a touchdown. I know right now that they're talking about the fourth quarter. They're talking about what we need to do, and we want to win this fourth quarter. We want to finish the game.
It was Stephen Sheffield on the last offensive possession for Texas Tech. Taylor Potts, who started the game. Back in a QB, 2nd and 5. Oklahoma bringing pressure. Potts flings it long. It is picked off. Jonathan Nelson grabs the interception. 2nd interception of his junior year.
And I tell you what, that's a great way to start it right there, to make up for it, because one of the things they talked about was maybe their defense got tired in the 4th quarter because they're playing too many guys. But the reality is that play can jumpstart the entire team.
ESPN's College Football on ABC. Brought to you by K Jewelers, the #1 jewelry store in America. Every kiss begins with K. Nissan, proud partner of the Heisman Trophy. And Dr. Pepper. There's nothing like a pepper.
2nd time in 3 weeks, our outstanding crew has had the pleasure of coming to Norman, Oklahoma. Producer Jim Zaroli, director Michael Ireland, our booth crew, Ryan Coffer, Danielle Cody, Lane Zeben, Don Majola. Here from Norman, Oklahoma. On 1st down, it's Clay with the carry for Oklahoma. New quarterback, it's Drew Allen, the redshirt freshman from Alamo Heights High School in the San Antonio area.
6'5", 232, fairly prototypical in size, and we say this every time that a backup comes in. Valuable reps and opportunities.
And you also want to run your regular offense. You not just want to run the ball 3 times in a row. You want to try to do and see what that young man can do within the offense.
Allen off the play fake. Tipped and almost intercepted. Trey Porter nearly got the pick.
And every single play becomes a learning opportunity. He's going to know next time to put a little bit more air on that ball. Great defensive play to get that ball almost intercepted. Trey Porter, they say again, best cover guy. They believe he will be an NFL player down the road.
I hope that he becomes a stalwart in the Texas Tech defense in the years to come too. That defense kind of grows up around guys like Trey Porter, Jarvis Williams, the redshirt freshman, Cody Davis, the sophomore safety, DJ Johnson, quarterback. He's a safety. That pass is batted. Is it picked off? I believe Clay comes back down with the football, and he does.
What you used to do, aren't you supposed to spike that ball down, not catch it in that situation?
Yeah, exactly. If you're the quarterback, it's your job when that ball is in the air to be the aggressor and go run after, especially if you're 6'5" and 230. Don't sit there and watch it. Do the best you can. Kind of like a Hail Mary. You want to go up and you want to spike. You see Josh Heupel there having some conversation. Those coaching points, you don't often get them, especially late in the year in practice reps. There's some tremendous opportunities to learn.
Lewis grabs the punt near the 20. When we come back to Norman, Mike Bellotti has the solution to the BCS mess. Let's take a look at the conference rankings 1 through 6. You see Mountain West and WAC are ahead of ACC and Big East, yet the ACC and Big East will have automatic qualifiers to BCS bowls.
I have a suggestion. How about no automatic qualifiers? How about earning the qualification during the course of the season? So at the end of the season, the top 6 conferences, based on their power rankings, would give the automatic qualification. So you'd have to earn it every week, every mid of the season. Every single team then would be evaluated within that system.
Yeah, it's not based on anything you've done in the past. It's not based on what your helmet is and your uniform and the tradition. It's based on your performance week in and week out.
And conference commissioners probably don't want to hear that. They want the automatic qualification, but certainly that would solve some of the debate across the nation. And again, it's not a playoff, but it certainly would earn the right to qualify for the BCS game.
There's only one ACC team in the top 25. That's Virginia Tech. There are no Big East teams in the top 25.
And Virginia Tech already beaten this year by boys. Makes that point maybe a little bit stronger.
It only makes sense. I mean, there's a BCS ranking system for every team in the country. There's a BCS ranking system for the conferences. Why not just say the top 6 conferences each year get those automatic bids, and then you have, if the WAC outperforms the Big East in a year, then they get the automatic bid.
And every single team in every single conference would continue to play well because they have a chance to share in a purse.
On first down. This fumble of the football near midfield. The Red Raiders have it.
Fumble on the play.
Went out of bounds, so Texas Tech will keep it.
Ball in the wrong hand. It comes out right there, I think, and it's actually kicked by the back. You can't see it. Came out early within that tackle. And you want to try to get the running backs again to put the ball in the outside arm away from the defenders. Can't see it again. The ball's on the ground right there. Comes out and then gets kicked by the Oklahoma players. Actually, unfortunately, and then great attempt, but not able to corral it before it goes out of bounds.
Don't you just love the pursuit of the Oklahoma backup, still flying around, getting 3 guys to the ball.
Watch the throw on second down. It's batted and nearly picked again by Frankie Alexander.
I'll tell you what, you're seeing the Oklahoma defense, who again was challenged this week, was challenged because of what happened last week, to stop plays, to finish the game, to play through the 4th quarter. And again, I think they're responding right now.
Well, it's essential because you look at, and we posted the schedule a couple times, if you're playing at Baylor on the road against that tempo of an offense, you end the year in Bedlam matchup against Oklahoma State on the road in that hostile environment in a rivalry game. You know, this is beyond conditioning. This is that mindset of finishing in the 4th quarter.
Watch the throw on third down. Over the middle, complete. Torres makes the grab for a Texas Tech first down. Flag down.
And that's going to be a late hit flying in after Torres is on the ground, I believe, against Oklahoma.
Bob Stoops either talking to the officials or talking to his players. I'm not sure.
The line of gain was made after the play. Personal foul, unnecessary roughness. Offense number 68. That's a 15-yard penalty. It'll be 1st and 10.
That's going to be backup Terry McDaniel coming in here, 68. Yeah, and that's we saw the earlier cheap shot to the knees. Oh, that's not quite as flagrant to the back, but still an obvious call. After the whistle, you can't go hit defenseless players in the back.
See the number 7 Texas Tech penalties, 90 yards against the Red Raiders. So first down and 10. Eric Stevens gets a few and gets a few more. Just keeps fighting for a first down. Let's look at our All-State Good Hands play of the game. Maybe the All-State Good Hand play of the game. This one-handed grab by Detron Lewis.
That's a slam dunk right there. That is a flat-out one of the best catches I've seen this year in terms of just concentration, reach out and snag it.
Kind of looked like an old Texas Tech Red Raider by the name of Crabtree. And I remember him making those plays look rather easy in his career.
McRoy on first down, picks up 5. This is Ben McRoy now at tailback, true freshman from Lakeland High School in Lakeland, Florida.
You know, we talk about the coaching situation with you, Mike, at Colorado and otherwise for Tommy Tuberville. I mean, what kind of, when you come into this situation, you know, some of the divisiveness that Carter addressed and talked about, you come in as a defensive-minded guy where you've got to change so much of the philosophy. What's the timetable to turn that around?
Well, you change what you can a little bit at a time. You still want the success for this team, for this group of young men. You don't sell them out. You try to make sure, are we putting people in a position to have success? And then are we building for the future? Because eventually he wants it to be in his identity, his team, what he was offensively. And again, I think right now he's committed to a combination of spreading the ball with the pass and the run, but playing better defense.
You know what this kind of reminds me of is a little bit of what you're seeing at Auburn, where you brought in Gene Chiz, a defensive-minded guy, at one time assistant coach of the year for his efforts both at Auburn and Texas as a D coordinator. And then he has the foresight to bring Gus Malzahn in and run the spread and do everything they do. in some ways, you look at Texas Tech and the hiring that they've done with their offensive staff to keep this system in place of spread and throwing it. And then if you can combine his defensive elements, that may be a winning combination.
Well, I will tell you that if I went back and coached, I would run the spread option. I would spread people out. I would have a mobile quarterback. I would try to play great defense by playing a lot of people. And I think that's not only in vogue, it's a great equalizer in terms of college football, because a mobile quarterback, the spread option, is very difficult for a defense to handle.
Can that offset deficiencies, that kind of a system?
Absolutely. It can mirror deficiencies, especially up front. If you can't get the biggest, strongest, fastest people, you can still get some of the players of less stature. That's why smaller quarterbacks, receivers, running backs are all having success now, because you're putting them in space and allowing their speed and space to be the definitive or the thing that defines them.
Donnie Corona getting some punting duties here, and he gets off a good one. Broyles makes the catch inside the 5. So Corona, who is the kickoff man, long distance field goal kicker, hangs one up there, back in the Sooners' back. Texas Tech player has been disqualified for striking an opponent on that punt, so he has been kicked out of the game.
Yeah, that's number 60, Jesse Smitherman.
And that may or may not result in a disqualification for the first half of the next game. Depends if they call it fighting, what it was. When you're DQ'd or disqualified, as I said, if it's in the second half, I think, again, and it could be up to the conference.
Well, we've seen 2 plays now, and I called it out on the other side with Jarvis Jenkins and the shot to the knee. And I'll say the same thing there. There's just simply no place for a cheap shot of that nature. And totally agree with kicking him out of this game.
Yeah, it's absolutely unnecessary. And I guarantee you, neither coach ever coaches that. It's more frustration on the part of the player.
Nice run from Adu on first down. Our Pacific Life game summary. "16 plays for negative yards or no gain, 2 interceptions, and yet explosive plays too from Texas Tech, while Broyles continues to roll up big-time numbers. He's now the all-time leader in touchdown receptions in Oklahoma football history.
Broyles is absolutely amazing. I will just say that it's hard to cover him, even though you know you're trying to. Whenever he gets single coverage, they seem to be able to find him.
Drew Allen lowering the shoulder and diving for an Oklahoma first down. The redshirt freshman, former Mule. He was a quarterback at Alamo Heights High School in the San Antonio area. Chase Clement right before him at Alamo Heights went on to be a record-setting quarterback for the Rice Owls.
And he brings a little bit more of that zone read skill set. He has the ability to, as you just saw there, convert with his legs. And when you're a young guy and a redshirt freshman and learning the ropes, that's a nice talent to have. I think it's pretty obvious as we've seen the level of execution and efficiency with Landry Jones. It's going to be his job around here for a while.
And Drew Allen is about 15 pounds heavier than Landry Jones, so a little bit. I think they're more comfortable letting him run the ball when he wants to. Good to see Moses Badu get positive carries tonight, because obviously they're going to need him down this stretch run.
I'm going to be real curious to watch Landry Jones here over the next 2 weeks, and his numbers at home and away are startling. And when you add today's efforts and 5 more touchdown passes, I know everybody wants to always put it on the quarterback, and it's not all Landry Jones. It's run game, it's defense, it's many components. But when he plays here, he gets awfully comfortable, and this offense seems to find itself in much more rhythm than on the road, where they have struggled to find some identity and make the game easier for him.
And remember, on the road, you cannot control the noise. It's the crowd noise that can affect your ability to communicate. You can't do it verbally. It all has to be through signs or whatever. And so that can have an effect. And you're right. I look forward, too, to seeing what he can do these next 2 weeks on the road.
That'll be at Baylor and at Oklahoma State in the Bedlam game. First down, Oklahoma. Millard picks it up. Catch ABC's Detroit 1-8-7 Tuesday, 10-9 Central. Great Cops made in Detroit, starring Michael Imperioli and James McDaniel. When it's your hometown, everything is personal. Detroit 1-8-7 Tuesday, 10-9 Central, ABC. Carter Blackburn with Mike Bellotti, Brock Heward, our entire ESPN crew from Norman, Oklahoma, where the Sooners have rolled up a 38-point advantage on Texas Tech, trying to close out their 36th consecutive home win. Play on first down, scoops to the outside to pick up about 8.
You know, and it's nice to have a run game, and it's nice to play defense and force turnovers. But as a quarterback, in for Landry Jones now in his second year with 20 starts under his belt, and these are updated with today's success. Look at that touchdown to interception ratio. I mean, you know, we talked to the coaches yesterday, and Bob Stoops and Kevin Wilson said, hey, it's not all Landry Jones. And I realized 5 of those picks on the road against Nebraska. But that's a telling number. That tells me something very specifically, that his judgment at home and his ability to, you know, that margin of error we talk about on the road, there's just no easy answer for that, and it's a telling statistic.
The other thing, too, though, is they've had to come from behind. They've had to throw on the road, and you know when yourself. Yep. When you're behind in the game and the other team knows you have to throw, they change the defense. There's more pressure. They're more mixing in the coverage, and so it is more difficult because his completion of almost 60%, his yardage at 272, something like that, is pretty good. But you're right. The interceptions are because of either mistakes or lack of support.
Oh, it's much more difficult. I mean, the noise and to communicate, and we've seen the film of both of these losses, and the linemen don't get off the ball, and people are in your face, and you've got to make plays at times with your legs, and you've got to avoid contact, and you've got to be a difference maker. I guess at the end of the day, that's what it says, is you must be, as a quarterback, elevating the play of everybody else in those situations, in those hostile environments where people are looking to you to be that leader.
Mike, I want to go back to what you said about going on the road. A no huddle, up-tempo team. It requires a lot of communication. Is it exponentially more difficult when you're on a road environment? It's much louder?
It is. Because you can't control the noise, and the fans are going to cheer and yell when you have the football. At home, they don't. They're quiet. They allow you to run your offense at your pace. It's hard to go fast on the road.
Oklahoma slowing down now with a 38-point lead. Still running the football. Well, Justin Blackmon leads the Cowboys. Oklahoma State against Mac Brown's Texas Longhorns. Saturday Night Football presented by Southwest Airlines. ABC 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific. Some of the nation will see USC versus Arizona. Go to ESPN.com, search maps. Cowboys haven't beaten Texas in 12 years. Justin Blackmon, 20 catches a year ago, 75 through 9 games in 2010.
And it's interesting, when we chatted with Tommy Tuberville, he said that's the model. That's what he wants his offense to look like, is what Oklahoma State's been able to do.
Texas Tech recovers a fumble. Brian Duncan on top of it to get a fumble recovery. Correction, Whitlock on top of it to get the recovery that was forced by Brian Duncan.
So perfect form tackle right there. Put the helmet on the ball, a shoulder, and lift and separate. I think that's what you'd call it.
So do we have a 0-0 fourth quarter? Is that, as I'm seeing these final 15 minutes, when you evaluate finish and you evaluate your young kids flying around and playing, and Colby Whitlock, he's continuing to play through his 46th consecutive start. But probably pretty good teaching tape once again for Brent Venables and for Bob Stoops and for Kevin Wilson, because this won't be good enough. 0-0 in the fourth quarter, more than likely, over the next 2 weeks, is not going to win you a Big 12 championship.
Another late penalty coming in. You know, one thing, too, Coach Gundy's done a tremendous job of reloading even his staff at Oklahoma State, and I think that's one of the things that Coach Tuberville looked at.
Holding offense, number 78, 10-yard penalty, first down.
You know, and you tend to get more holds when you're running a lateral running game, because, again, when you're pushing straight ahead, it's a little bit easier to get your hands on a guy who doesn't show. But when you run laterally, defenses try to separate, and that's when you get the holding calls against the offensive line.
So take me back there to that comment you just said about a staff and what Tommy Tuberville has learned from a Mike Stoops.
Well, I think he's learned from Stoops, from Coach Gundy at Oklahoma State. It's just sometimes you have to reload that staff. He likes youth on his staff. He feels like those young people can recruit and they can relate to the players, but you still have to have football junkies at certain positions. He talked about offensive coordinator, offensive line, secondary, and defensive defensive coordinator. Those guys need to know football. They need to eat, sleep, drink. They just got to love football and be football junkies. Everybody else has an important role with the position, but they've got to recruit their tails off. And again, it's a combination. I don't think you can have a guy in college football now that can't recruit or doesn't know football well enough to coach a position. So it's sort of a combination of what your comfort zone is. That obviously Coach Tuberville had a bunch of guys he has never coached with. So he's very comfortable and confident that he can sort of put a model together to have success. He's had that at Ole Miss, at Auburn. He's a veteran coach.
Well, Oklahoma is going to walk off the field with another home victory, the 36th consecutive home win for Oklahoma on senior day for a group of 17. They close out the 5th consecutive undefeated home season for Oklahoma. It is the 50th undefeated season at home in Oklahoma football history. The first ever head coaching matchup between Bob Stoops and Tommy Tuberville goes to Bob Stoops, so 45-7 win. So the Sooners bounce back from loss number 2, beating Texas Tech. For Mike Bellotti, Brock Hewitt, our entire crew, I'm Carter Blackburn. Stay tuned for the complete post-game report. Oklahoma goes to 8-2, 4-2 in the Big 12. Rolling over Texas Tech 45-7. Post-game report, John and Jesse, after this message.